In this video, we're going to go over how to create your business development plan. We're going to go through 4 steps and I'm going to walk you through each one individually here. And we're going to walk through exactly how you can differentiate yourself, how to define your target audience, how to determine your unique mechanism, what really kind of sets you apart in the marketplace. And then we're going to go into how you're going to be able to choose your best business development strategy moving forward. So let's go right ahead and jump into this here. You want to define your target audience. You want to make sure that you know exactly who your ideal customers are, exactly who those decision makers are within the organization. And if you're going after, a broad market, you want to try to get that as specific as possible because you can go after vertical markets, horizontal markets. It's important to understand, who your actual ideal customer avatar is as well, because that's really going to help you craft a lot of your marketing material, a lot of your sales material, and really help you with the business development strategy as far as building those key relationships with the right individuals at the very top as well. And we're going to go over how to build your customer avatar. I have an exercise that you can use to really define who exactly is your ideal customer and your actual target audience. Now, number 2, you want to determine your competitive advantage. What makes you different in the marketplace? What do you do or can you offer that will set you apart from your competitors, right? A lot of times, what really makes businesses different and unique is being able to go and look at the top players in the marketplace, right? And looking at what exactly they do, what really kind of sets them apart, and then being able to emulate your product or service a little bit towards what they're currently doing, but then changing it and modifying it and adding some of your own unique twist to whatever it is that you're providing, right? Because you don't want to reinvent the wheel unless you have like some sort of app or some kind of SaaS product that is unique, that is, that nobody else has in the marketplace, and you're trying to get traction. That's going to be a little bit different. But for the most part, for most businesses that are in the marketplace, right, they have a competitor out there. They have somebody who is at the very top or who is doing pretty well, where they can go and find out what they're doing, right, as far as their product, their service, their deliverables, and being able to emulate that to an extent, but then adding your own twist and unique competitive advantage. So number 3, determine your unique mechanism. Now, the difference here between the unique competitive advantage and the unique mechanism is, with the unique mechanism, your product or service has a unique formula, unique characteristic, ingredient, and you leverage it in your communication with your prospect. So you come up with the secret sauce or something unique about your product and you give it a name, right? Your 5-step formula for accomplishing X, right? Or your 3-step process for, accomplishing Y, whatever that may be. So a really good example is like a massage therapist, okay? This is a very simple example here. A massage therapist that has studied different forms of massaging techniques, different therapies, and they've combined all these different therapy techniques into their own, and they've called it, the new XYZ therapy methodology, right, that they invented. But it's a unique mechanism. That's what really sets them apart. And we're going to go through how to determine your unique mechanism in one of the other lectures in this course as well, so that you can really differentiate yourself not only with your competitive advantage, but also with your unique mechanism. So number 4 here, choose your business development strategy. So we went through some of the top business development strategies in the previous lecture. In this course, our business development strategies that we're going to be focusing on are cold email, cold calling, and direct mail. Now, this is really centralized around the cold email. Very, very in-depth section on cold email alone. And we have the other sections going over cold calling and direct mail. But the main core business development strategy that this core is really focused on is cold email, on being able to secure meetings with your ideal prospects and being able to convert those into actual paying customers. So that's going to be it here for this video, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks. In this video, we're going to talk about organization hierarchy. So let's go right ahead and jump into this. Now, whenever you're targeting a specific individual at a certain company, depending on the size, they're going to typically have these different levels of hierarchy here, where you're going to have the C-level suite, the VPs, the directors, the managers, and then actual individual contributor employees. Now, again, this all is dependent upon how large the organization is. Typically, when a company is anywhere between 1 to 5 million in revenue, they're not really going to have C-level folks. Maybe you're going to have an owner, maybe a couple managers or a manager, and then the rest they're going to have is, the actual employees. So it's important that you understand at what level that your typical clients, right, organization that you're targeting is at. Typically where you see the C-level, the VP, the directors, the managers, all these different levels is with companies $5-10 million plus. You're going to have the VPs, the directors. So when we're doing our outreach, and the outreach that I recommend that we're going to be doing here is cold email. This course is really centered around the core cold email strategy, as well as cold calling and direct mail. However, the majority of what we're doing here and the core of what we're going to be going over is the cold email strategy. And when you're reaching out to your target individuals, one of the best things that you can do is reach up to top level individuals and ask for help. And then oftentimes what will happen is that they will push you down that hierarchy. So let's say that I'm looking to target the director of marketing or the director of sales or even the director of HR, right? So what I could do is easily go to the VP of marketing, okay, or the VP of human resources, contact them and ask them, hey, wanted to see if you can connect me with the person that handles the marketing or the person that handles your HR initiatives, whatever that may be. Then this person up here is going to then forward the email to this person, and they're going to say, hey, follow up with this person here to see if this is even worth looking at or worth pursuing, right? And so even when you're doing cold calling, you can easily call up different departments and ask them, hey, I'm not sure if I'm in the right place. I wanted to see if you can help me out. I'm looking for the person that's in charge of X or Y, right? Whatever that may be. And a good example of this is I can recall hearing a story of a particular individual that was looking to target, I believe it was the director of data or something along that lines in that particular department. And this is for Amazon. And so what happened was this individual was emailing the director 40, 30 times, a ton of emails, and they just were not responding, right? And so what he did is he emailed Jeff Bezos directly, and this was a few years back, but he emailed them directly, and then after 3 to 4 or 5 emails to Jeff Bezos directly, because he does actually check his emails, even to this day, he checks emails, and then what he'll do is he'll forward them to his VPs or directors or whoever that may be. So what ended up happening is that Jeff Bezos' assistant emailed back this individual and said, hey, Jeff has actually read your email. He's forwarded over to the right individuals. And those individuals that he was trying to target initially finally responded back to him, right? Because if you're getting an email from Jeff Bezos, right, your boss, then you're going to immediately follow up on that email. So that's one of the great ways that you can use to get in front of your target audience, right? You email, you contact, you call the top level individual. It's actually better to be doing cold email because then you can act kind of like you're lost, like you're looking for that right individual. And that VP, that director will typically move things down the chain and they will connect you with the right individual. Because if they're getting an email from their manager, from their boss, right? I mean, they're going to respond, right? So I just wanted to give you an idea here as far as the organization hierarchy, how it works, and typically how everything moves down the chain. So you can use this to your advantage. So that's going to be here for this video, and we'll see you on the next one. In this video, we're going to talk about how to develop your customer avatar. So we're going to talk about exactly how you can pinpoint the different challenges, the different interests, the different things that your ideal prospect, your ideal customer is interested in, so we can really pinpoint exactly who they are, the different things that they enjoy, the different pain points that they have. So our messaging, our business development strategy can all be centered around targeting those specific areas. So let's go right ahead and jump into this here. So when we're defining our ideal customer, we have to do some research as far as the market. Who is this individual? Where do they spend their time at? What do they do specifically? Where do they get their news? Do they read Fortune magazine? Do they read Entrepreneur magazine? Do they read CIO? Do they read the Wall Street Journal? All of these different things we need to research and find out. And one of the great places to go and actually do customer research is by going to the Facebook Audience Insights, where you can really look at the different likes, the different interests of your target individual, but there's also a ton of other resources that you can use to dig up information about your ideal prospect. So the kind of questions, as I mentioned, that we really want to find out is, what do they do? Where do they read their news from? How much money do they make? What aspects of their life or personality affect how you market your product to them? What are their biggest goals or biggest values? What is their family and relationship status? Are they married, divorced, single? Do they have children? If they have children, how many? Does anything about their relationship have a bearing on how they might use your product or fit within their particular work week? So it's really important for you to go and utilize all the different tools that are available as far as Facebook Audience Insights. There's Reddit, there's Quora, there's really simply Google, right? Where you can go out and find out information about your ideal prospect. And one of my most favorite places is going to Reddit, because Reddit, you can find different things that a lot of people will not share in the public arena more often than not, right? You're going to see a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and that really gives you an inside look of the problems, the challenges, the different things that people are going through that you can actually understand better, so you can use that to build your customer avatar. Now I'm going to provide a sheet for you here that you can use to build up your particular customer avatar, but it's really important for you to understand who exactly you're targeting. So for example, if I were to be targeting a chief information officer, right? They want to make sure that their data is secure. They want to make sure that their security managers have the right software in place, the right penetration testing going on, the right things in place so that their organization's data is protected and secure by any means necessary. So then I would go out and research, okay, what are the common areas of weakness or pain points that a CIO may be facing, right? Intruders, email spam, data protection, all these different things are what are going to be important to that CIO. So it's really important that you spend some time to really research, pinpoint, really fine tune who exactly you're going after, so that you can customize your marketing messages, your business development strategy, and then your sales strategy and process, right? To make sure that you're going after these individuals and that you're able to hit on all the different pain points, and you're able to make it very simple for them to say yes to you because you understand their pain points. You understand what's important to them, right? All these different things are what really matter, because at the end of the day, a prospect has problems, challenges, right? There's opportunities there that they may have, and it's up to you to fully understand those, right? Going into sales calls, right? You want to have kind of an idea as far as the different pain points, the different challenges they may have, but every particular individual may have different challenges at different times. So you want to get kind of a better understanding of what those challenges, those pain points are, right? And then on those sales calls, when you're on there, your sales guys can dig deeper, right? And really figure out and find out what it's really important to them. So that's going to be it here for this video, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks. In this video, we're going to talk about the sales process. So how exactly is it that we're going to take leads, strangers, right, that have never ever had any contact with us, never have had any interaction with us, to where they're actually a paying customer, and then we can actually use them to get us referrals. So let's go right ahead and walk through the different sales stages here that we're going to use for this particular course. So this is the sales process here. As you can see at the very top of the funnel up here, we have leads. In this course, we're going to go over different methods that we can use to build up our customer list. We're going to go over different websites, different platforms that we can use to build up our specific target market list. So once we have the leads, then we're going to put them into our cold email outreach. And we're also going to be using the two other methods in here in this course, which is the direct mail and cold calling. But the cold email is going to be the one with the least amount of resistance, because we can put together a list of several hundred of target companies and be able to email them fairly quickly. So we have the leads up here at the top, and then we have our outreach method. And so once they respond and we've gotten them interested in actually having a call, we're then going to schedule that discovery call and go over their problems, their pain points, their challenges, and see if there may be an opportunity for us to partner together. And then from that discovery call, you're going to then walk them through a presentation on the second call, and then you're going to have the close there, and then we're going to have a follow-up if that doesn't close on that second call there. Now, one of the most important things here that I've been able to use that really helps out with the discovery call and then the presentation is, after the discovery call has been done, we've built our credibility up, we've positioned ourselves as that credible, authoritative expert. Right after that, when we schedule our second call, what I typically do is I send over a virtual sales letter, so a VSL. And what that has in there is it's showing them essentially a case study, how we've been able to help XYZ company accomplish XYZ goal, and how we can, help you accomplish the same, right? Get the same kind of results. So by the time that the presentation call comes on, we've already positioned ourselves as that authoritative, credible expert. They've already seen that VSL that shows them the results that we've been able to achieve. And so they're really buttered up, they're really primed up for that presentation call because of what we did prior. And so on the presentation call, it's up to you to really showcase your product, your service, so that it really touches on the pain points, challenges that they may have, and then be able to close that deal. So that's essentially going to be here, the sales process for this particular course, and what I like to use really in any kind of sales methodology, because if you're trying to close somebody with one call, it's going to be very difficult when you're doing paid ads. Now, this is another thing here. When you're doing paid advertising, such as Facebook ads, such as Google, that's where you can have a one call close. Okay, and I've done a lot of one call closes, but they are more difficult. And so what ends up happening is, when somebody goes through a Facebook funnel, right, or like a Google Ads paid funnel, where they see a VSL, they have the ability to fill out an application to see if they qualify, right? Then there's that pre-framing and that positioning that's set up there, where you're making them apply to see if they qualify, and they're filling out all their information, their budget, all these different things that it's really going to help us use it to our advantage on that call. So that's the only time that I really recommend that you do a one call close, where you have paid advertising, you have a funnel, right? You have an ad, and then they're actually filling out a application, okay? And then they're actually booking that call, and then on that call, that's where you actually do the presentation and you close, right? But if you're doing any kind of cold outreach, I highly recommend that you always utilize a 2-call system, where you have a discovery call to learn more about the business, the pain points, the challenges, and then a presentation to show them how the product or service, right, works for them and how they can reap the benefits from your product or service. So that's going to be it here for this video, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks. In this video, we're going to go over the difference between goals, objectives, and outcomes. So let's go right ahead and jump into this here. So it's important to understand the differences between the goals, the objectives, and the outcome. Now, with goals, they're an observable and measurable end result having one or more objectives to be achieved. Now, goals are typically going to be broad in scope. And a good example of this is saying, hey, my goal is to lose weight, or my goal is to increase profits, right? It's very, very broad. So an objective is essentially a specific result that you're trying to achieve within a time frame and with available resources. So just think about a goal where you want to increase profits, and then an objective may be that you're going to run a special promotion and you want to accomplish that promotion by a certain date, right? So with using the example of wanting to increase profits as a goal, right, a company's objective might be to call all existing customers with a special promotion to increase sales and then introduce a new product or service. That may be an individual type of objective that needs to get taken care of. And when it comes to outcomes, they are the measurement and evaluation of an activity's results against their intended or projected results. So outcomes are essentially what you hope to achieve once you accomplish that goal. So if we look at the above examples and we look at, okay, what is the goal? Is to increase revenue, right? Increase profits. And then the objective is to call our existing customers and let them know about an existing promotion. And then our actual outcome may be by the end of the year to increase profit by 50% over the previous year. So it's really the end goal, right? The outcome that you're looking to achieve. And here we can see the examples here very clearly. So the goal, increase profits. Objective, call existing customers with a special promotion to introduce a new product or service. The outcome is to have a 50% increase in profits year over year. Now, a lot of times where people have problems and where they fall short with their goals is they make them very broad, right? Because increasing profits or losing weight, those are very broad statements. And you don't have like a step-by-step plan. You don't have like an actual outcome that you're trying to achieve, because the more specific, the more clear that your actual outcome is, right? Then the better you are going to be able to accomplish that, because you know exactly what you're moving towards. That's a lot of the reasons why most people don't really accomplish much in their lives in general, because they have these goals and then they get discouraged because they don't outline them with objectives and a particular outcome that they want to achieve. You know, a lot of people will say, hey, I want to lose weight. Well, okay, great. Well, how much weight do you want to lose? By when do you want to lose that weight? And what are the steps that you're going to take to lose that weight? So just wanted to give you the difference here as far as the goals, objectives, and outcomes, and how important it is to set a goal and then lay out the steps, right? The objectives that you want to implement to be able to accomplish that goal, and then what you're ultimately looking to accomplish with that particular outcome. So that's going to be it here for this video, and we'll see you on the next one. In this video, we're going to talk about how to set SMART goals. Now, in the previous video, we talked about the differences between goals, objectives, and outcomes. Now, in this particular video, we're going to walk through a process where you can set very specific SMART goals, so you'll be able to accomplish them in a very precise manner. You're no longer going to set a goal and just have it be very broad and hope and wish that you get it accomplished. With this particular process here, you're going to get very specific, and then you're going to be able to have objectives laid out so that you know exactly what you need to do and the actual outcome that you're looking to achieve here. So let's go right ahead and jump in here. So when you're setting goals, it's important to have a formula to follow. And one of the most common formulas out there that you can follow is the SMART formula. So it's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. So let's go through each one of these individually. So the number one here is specificity. So you want to be specific. A specific goal has a much greater chance of being accomplished than a general goal. To set a specific goal, you must answer the W questions. Who is involved? What do I want to accomplish? When do I want to accomplish it? Right? You want to have an established time frame. Why do you want to accomplish this? And why is actually one of the most important questions. Because what you'll find a lot of times, even in sales, okay, people will talk about very surface level information. They'll say, hey, yes, I want to grow my business. I want to get more leads and sales. But then when we dig deeper, it's not really about the more leads and sales. It's that they want to be able to grow their business to a certain revenue so that they could sell that business and then retire and spend more time with their family. So when you can really kind of get your own criteria and understand why it is that you're wanting to accomplish this goal, right? Is it because you want to grow your business to a certain amount so you can sell it yourself? Or perhaps so you can hire more employees? Or perhaps so you can have more time to spend with your family so you don't have to be doing everything in your business, right? Wearing all the hats. So why is a very important question to ask yourself, okay? And then we have measurable. So you want to establish a concrete criteria for measuring progress towards the attainment of each goal that you set. So when you measure progress, you stay on track to reach your target dates and you experience the exhilaration, the achievement that spurs from actually continuing on moving forward to reach that goal, right? What gets measured gets accomplished. If you're not able to measure step by step, hey, 2 or 3 days ago or 2 or 3 months ago, I was here and today I am this far ahead from where I was 2 or 3 months ago. If you can't measure that and see, all these different steps that you've made and all the progress that you've made, then you're not going to be able to utilize that information to your advantage. You want to be able to see this much growth in this much time, right? So questions that you can ask yourself is how much, how many. Now, one of the great questions that you can ask yourself is how will I know when my goal is accomplished? So you can have a timeline. Just think about a straight line on a piece of paper, right? And at the very beginning, you have where you are now, okay? And at the very end is what exactly it is that you're looking to accomplish, right? That specific outcome. And at the very end of that is how will you know when it is accomplished? What are you going to be feeling? What are you going to be seeing? What are you going to be experiencing so that you know that you have reached that goal, right? So very, very important to measure that goal and to be able to know when exactly you have accomplished it by setting your criteria there. And then attainable. You can attain pretty much any goal that you set as long as you plan out the steps and you establish a time frame that allows you to carry out those steps. Now, this is one of the most mind-boggling things that I've really come across. The fact that most people will set a goal, but they won't plan it out step by step, what they need to do to get there, and they don't set up an actual timeline of when those steps need to be carried out, right? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, right, when you're setting a goal, you want to break things down into smaller pieces, into bite-sized pieces, so that each day you're moving 2, 3, 4, 10% closer to accomplishing your end goal, right? The end result. So it's really important that you plan it out. You have steps that are necessary to take action on each and every day. And so that you know exactly when those steps need to be accomplished. So you have an idea as far as, okay, I plan to have XYZ goal accomplished by X date, right? So then realistic. How realistic is the goal? Do you have the time, energy, and resources available to accomplish this goal, right? And then we have timely. Now, this is really going into the attainable area where you want to be able to set a specific date because then there's urgency behind that. If you just say, well, I want to increase sales, I want to increase profits, or I want to lose weight someday, but I want to lose weight, right? That's pretty much just like wishing and hoping and thinking that something is going to magically happen one day and you're going to automatically lose weight. It's not going to work out that way, right? We have to set goals and we have to set a time frame or else it's never going to come about. It's never going to happen. We're going to be in the same scenario day in and day out, year after year, because we don't have a timeline. We don't have a time frame. 2 or 3 years are going to go by and we're going to keep talking about wanting to increase profits, wanting to lose weight, and it's never going to get done, right? So very important to set timely measurements, right? To have specific end goal date and then have timelines for each specific objective, all the steps, right, that need to get done throughout the process. So That's going to be it here for this video, and we'll see you on the next one. In this video, we're going to go over the cold email system. I'm going to walk you through the 3 different ways that you can use to build up your audiences, to build up your actual customer list, and different ways that you can go about putting together your actual lead prospecting database. So let's go right ahead and jump into this here. Now, there's going to be 3 different ways that you can go ahead and build your customer list. The first way is going to be through manual search. This is going to be through going on Google, going through various websites, and we're going to walk through very much so in detail different websites, different platforms that we can go and actually build our customized list doing it manually. And then we're going to walk through number 2, which is buying email lists. Now, there's very specific steps that you need to follow when you're buying an email list so that you know it's up to date and you're not getting a bunch of filler data. A lot of times people will buy lists that they buy from different places, they'll recycle them, they'll put in a bunch of names and emails that don't really fit what you're looking for. I'm going to show you how you can find very customized lists that are very inexpensive, right? Where you can get information from companies as far as the company size, information, revenue, employees, right? And all the different types of information that you're going to need to make sure that the list is high quality. And another thing that you can do is actually hire contractors. And I'm going to show you how to do that on Upwork, where I'm going to show you an example of some jobs that I've posted and the kind of contractors that I've hired, and give you some recommendations as to what to look for, how to actually create the job, and the things that are really important to make sure that you're getting the right kind of data. Because once you hire contractors on Upwork, for example, you can get very specific with the data. You can get the company size, the revenue, and get it real time. Because oftentimes what they'll do is they'll go to websites such as like InfoUSA, and they'll pull data right from the actual database and then be able to put that in a spreadsheet and get that over to you. And it's typically 5 to 10 cents per lead. And then one of the most important things that we're going to walk through is after you've collected your email database from either buying a list from a specific vendor, that I'm going to show you different ones that you can use, that I've used, that have worked tremendously well for me, and then also hiring contractors. Once you get those email lists, you want to be able to run those through an email cleaner. You have to make sure that the emails are actually safe, they're cleaned, and they're ready to get sent, because oftentimes you'll have emails that are old, that are spam traps, that are not updated, because we want to reduce the number of bounces that we're getting, because we want to make sure that the emails that we're sending are to the right email addresses, and we're protecting the credibility of our domain and our email address. So now let's go over the cold email process that we're going to utilize for our particular strategy here. The process essentially starts with sending an email and then getting a response, and then depending on that response there, taking appropriate action. So if a response comes back and they want to learn more, they want to find out if it makes sense for us to do business together, right? You want to schedule a discovery call. You want to address their concerns, and I'm going to show you different ways to respond, address any concerns, right? So we can get them to that scheduled call. Now, if there's no response, then typically what we'll do is we'll have an automated email setup process here that sends follow-ups on automation, so that whenever they are able to receive a first email, they perhaps read it, they forget, or they get distracted. We have a follow-up email that gets sent 3 days, 4 days after that to let them know, hey, just wanted to see if you had received a previous message and you had read the message, whatever that may be. Typically, I like to do anywhere between 3 to 7 times as far as follow-ups, right? Because you don't really know if that prospect read the email and they got distracted and they were interested. So it's really important to send follow-up emails, right? And sometimes you can send them until they tell you to stop. I mean, I've had a lot of clients that have emailed me back on email 5 and have said, hey, I really appreciate you reaching, out to me. I really like your persistence. I took a look at your email. I'm interested. However, I just haven't had the time to respond. Hey, what's your availability for a call? So never underestimate the power of automation and how you can actually set up an email campaign to follow up every 3 to 4 days. And I'm going to walk you through a system. We use Mailshake to be able to send automated emails between certain times, and then whenever they respond, they will automatically get removed from that actual series and campaign. Now, the ultimate goal is to get us on a discovery call. We walk through the sales process in one of the other videos, but our ultimate goal is to send an email, get a response so that they will get scheduled on a discovery call. And I'm going to walk you through all the different steps that we go through once they respond. But typically, we want to have that discovery call so that we can find out a little bit more about that particular business. They can learn more about your product and service, and if it makes sense, right, for you guys to go on to the next step in the process, which is that presentation. So this is essentially our cold email process here. I'm really excited to walk through all the different steps and walk into detail how to write emails that convert, and how to get your prospects' attention and get them to actually want to book a call with you. So that's going to be here for this video, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks. In this video, we're going to go over how to find companies to email. So we're going to essentially look to build our customer list. Typically, what you can do is you can put together a doc that I'm going to share with you, where you can essentially put in the company information, name, email, phone number, and then any other additional information that you want to gather. But I'm also going to show you several different ways where you can go and actually purchase the list in a different video, and how you can actually hire people to create a list for you for very inexpensive. But this is kind of the manual way. It does take a little bit longer, but it allows you to do a little bit of research on those particular companies that you're looking to target. So let's go right ahead here and jump into this. Now, the very first area that you can really start your search is literally on Google. So let's say that I was going after some kind of software company. So let's say security software companies, okay? And this is a very specific niche here, and it's very, very unique and custom. So by me just typing into what I'm looking for here, we should find a lot of companies that are similar to security software companies, and companies that are security software companies. And then we can find out some of the names here, contact information. We can find who are the owners, the managers, right? So let's go in here. Let's see here, the softwarereport.com. So here's a resource right here, 25 cybersecurity companies of 2018. Now this is a cybersecurity, which is different from the actual software security, but it's in the same area, because if you think about it, like Symantec, they have software security that they utilize, endpoint protection, things like that. So all in all, cybersecurity can include the actual software as well. So here we can look at Fortinet, McAfee, obviously one of the largest ones here, Rapid7. So this is essentially how you can just literally come into Google and type in the kind of businesses that you're looking for. Google is very, very simple for you to come in here and literally put in the company type that you're looking for, maybe the industry, the market, and do some research this way. Now, again, doing this manually is going to take a lot of time. That's why I'm recommending that you either purchase a list from a vendor or you hire somebody on Upwork to do this for you. But if you are just a startup and you don't have very much capital to work with, then going and doing this manually, I'm going to show you a lot of different resources that you can go and find lists, right? Email contact that you can build your own list with. Now, if you're working in the local space and you're looking for local companies to work with, another area to look at is YP.com, so Yellow Pages. This is where there's a lot of businesses on here that have been with Yellow Pages for years. A lot of these businesses haven't yet graduated or moved up into the digital age. So they'll have like websites created by YP.com. They'll have advertisements on here, and they're more of just loyal customers that have been with them for a long time. So let's say we're coming in here, we're looking for security companies, and I'm in the Seattle area. So let's say security control and monitoring. Let's go find. And so here we can see a lot of companies that are doing ads here. So this one here, Vivint, looks like these guys are doing ads. And then looks like there's some kind of notice here that's showing call Vivint's home security 2008. Yeah, so this is a very old actual ad here. I don't know why they still have that up here, but you're going to find businesses in here that are actually advertising. Here you can find some on the right as well. Security safe and lock. But this is just more or less another resource for you to come in here and find the type of businesses that you're looking for. I think this one actually is even created by Yellow Pages themselves. But if you're in the local space and you're looking to work with local companies, right? Maybe you're a marketing agency, maybe you're a marketing consultant, and you want to find a lot of businesses that are currently doing marketing or advertising that are not getting the return that they would have hoped, then I highly recommend you go to Yellow Pages. I remember when I first started doing marketing online and working with local businesses, I would call up these business owners here that were advertising on Yellow Pages, and I would say, hey, I'm calling you about your YP.com listing, Yellow Pages listing. Hey, wanted to see how that's working out for you and if you felt it was money well spent, right? And all the time I would get business owners that would say, hey, yeah, I haven't got any leads. I don't know where the leads are supposed to be coming from. I just don't see that I have got my money's worth. I haven't got a return. And so what ends up happening is that Yellow Pages will lock these folks in for 6-12 months, right? And they'll just get no leads, right? Because people are not going onto Yellow Pages to search for security or for any kind of local service, right? They're going to go on Google. They're going to type in, hey, security services company in X city, and that's where they're going to do their research. So coming in here to YP.com, it's a great place to come in here and let folks know that you have a unique method, a unique strategy to get them to generate more leads and sales, right? Through digital marketing, advertising, whatever that may be. But again, keep in mind that these typical business owners here are going to be a little bit more old school, and they're not going to fully understand the power of digital marketing such as Facebook, LinkedIn, Google ads, right? So you may need to do some educating there, but a great resource nonetheless here. Now, the next resource that I'm going to share with you is alignable.com. Now, this is another resource where it's for local businesses, but this is actually a whole lot better than YP.com because what this is actually reliant upon is actually doing a referral. So a lot of what this is centered around is just referral based, like, hey, I wanted to look to connect with you to see if I can refer business to you, right? So it's a very kind of a networking type of platform, kind of like LinkedIn. So just think of LinkedIn, but for like small local businesses, medium-sized businesses, right? And so what you can do here is build connections and actually message people to see if there may be an opportunity for you guys to network. So you have different messages that you can send. You can actually search for actual businesses. I haven't tried their premium features here, but I know that this is an untapped resource because not very many people are using alignable.com to actually search for businesses, right? So when you come in here and you use their approach, their templated messages, a lot of times you can start a conversation and then get them to get on a phone call to see if you can actually help them out and see if you can refer business to them. But ultimately what you're trying to do here is get on a call with these folks and see if your services, right, are actually going to benefit and help that particular business, right? Because you're not just going on here to try to recommend people. You're going on here because you're trying to prospect, you're trying to build a list, you're trying to get them to get into your sales funnel, right? So you can get them into the next step, which is that discovery call. And then if it makes sense to get onto the presentation, right? So I highly recommend that you come in here and you play around with Alignable. Again, I haven't used any of their premium features, but it's virtually an untapped market because very few people are using Alignable to connect with business owners, right? And to connect with businesses to be able to get them into their sales funnel. Now, if you're a marketing agency, if you're a consultant that helps local businesses, another place to come in here and look at business opportunities is Home Advisor. Now, Home Advisor is obviously going to be for home type of projects. So any kind of remodel, heating and cooling, flooring, hardwood, but it gives you a list of businesses that you can come in here and actually also search for. So if you're not working with local businesses, if you're not working with, home construction, home remodeling businesses, then Home Advisor may not be a good fit for you. But what you can do is come in here and break down the projects through handyman, electrical, fences, lawn care, sprinklers, plumbing. Now we can spend a great amount of time going through Home Advisor here and actually looking for businesses, but it's actually quite simple. You literally just come in here and you type in what you're looking for, and it'll give you a list of different businesses that service these projects. So let's go to addition and remodels. And then it'll ask you some questions here as far as where are you looking for these additions, where are you looking to get this done, what's your budget, and then it'll connect you with different types of actual Home Advisor clients that they actually recommend. So if you're in the local space, if you're in the marketing space where you're helping local businesses and you're doing that home construction, home remodeling, highly recommend Home Advisor. And the next method that I recommend here is literally going into Google and typing in association. So whatever niche that you have or you're going after, you want to be able to look up associations because you can find businesses in there that you're actually going after, your target market, and then also join those associations as well. So for example here, we go over here and we look at this securityindustry.org here. I can easily become a member here, and it shows you all the different resources. And then we can find a list of all the people that are actually joining here and are actually members. So we can actually reach out to them and see if there may be an opportunity for us to work together. Again, associations are one of the best ways to be able to join the association or even get access to the members, right? So that you can have a list that's already made that you know is your target market, and then be able to reach out to those prospects accordingly. Now, the other resource here that I want to share with you is Manta.com. This is another one where, kind of like YP.com, where you can find businesses in the local space. And you can easily just type in here, let's go to Seattle, and let's type in security systems there. Let's go to go. And over here, we can see some featured results. Now, I'm not quite sure if these guys actually have advertising that they're actually promoting here with these particular businesses. I'm thinking they may, because they have featured results, right? And then they have the actual regular results over here. So this is another place to come in here and look at businesses that you can potentially reach out to. And these types of businesses are going to be like those on YP, where they're a little bit more old school. They haven't yet totally graduated onto the digital age, right? They may even have a very low budget website such as GoDaddy, build their website. But again, these folks here still have opportunities for you to be able to reach out to them if you're in the local space, maybe you're a local marketing agency. So again, this is a nice resource here. All you really got to do is go to the actual search here and whatever city you're in, and you should be able to pop up different businesses based on that search criteria. So one of the other places that I want to recommend to you to look for your ideal prospects is by going onto Facebook and looking up different groups. So let's say, for example, you're in the software space and you want to find different groups that may fit within your ideal criteria. And you essentially just need to come up here to the search bar and type in software, and you're going to find different groups here. And then I've actually chose one up here. This is the SaaS Founders, and you can easily join this group here and start communicating with different prospects, start adding value. One of the great things that a good friend of mine has done is with groups that he's part of, specifically in the roofing niche, where he helps roofing companies generate more leads and sales. And what he's done is he's joined those groups, and then he's added value. He's added very highly valuable posts that have to do with Facebook marketing, Google ads. So however it is that you can come into your particular niche group and come in there and add valuable posts to the group and be able to engage with people, maybe have, certain questions that you ask. And what ends up happening is that you'll get people commenting on your posts, liking them. You'll have people DMing you, trying to learn more about your product, your service, right? And so that's how you're able to get a ton of leads through Facebook groups. Highly recommend that. Another section here that I want to share with you here is the Crunchbase. Now, this is a paid service here. You're only able to see a small number of businesses, but I believe they have, I think it's about a 30-day trial where you can come in here and look for different businesses based on certain criteria. I believe it's where you can add in a particular criteria. Let's go companies. We can break this down by location, categories, number of employees, total funding amount. I believe it's like $10 or $15 per month. So if you want to use Crunchbase, highly recommend this. I used to use this a while back when I was reaching out to startup companies that had recently got funded, and I would reach out to the founder. I would reach out to the actual venture capital firm as well and let them know that I noticed that they just got funding and wanted to see if they had any needs for marketing, for advertising, right? Because typically when they get funding, that means that they want to get that hyper growth. They want to get to that next level, and they are typically going to need marketing and advertising. Now, another resource that I want to share with you is Angel.co. And what this website has is it has over 100,000 startup jobs that are available for you to come in here and actually take a look at. But more importantly, take a look at the actual companies, because what you can do is you can use this as your information and your resource, because oftentimes when a company is obviously going to be posting jobs, they're actually in that growth mode. They're looking to get to the next level, and you can use that in your research when you're doing your email personalization. That's one of the areas that we're going to cover in our cold email strategy, is the ability for us to personalize our emails. Finding some information out about, let's say this company here, Gusto, maybe finding out that they are in a huge growth phase, that they have 2 or 3, 4, 5, 10 jobs that they just recently posted, maybe something on their Instagram, whatever that may be, right? For us to be able to use that as a differentiator in our marketplace, because oftentimes people will send very kind of generic boilerplate type of emails that typically end up in the spam folder. But we're going to utilize two different methodologies and strategies here, where we're going to use a personalized type of email strategy, and then one is a little bit more broad and open, okay? And oftentimes the personalization is going to take some time, right? We have to actually do a little bit of research on the company, and we got to find something unique that stands out and that really kind of starts that conversation, like, hey, it's a friend, I just researched your company and found out that X, Y, and Z. Hey, wanted to see how that's going. Oh, hey, by the way, we specialize in helping companies just like yours, right? And we're going to walk through all those different templates and how to write proper emails. So let's go over here and look at the actual startup jobs. So we can see here, a lot of these companies are in that growth phase. And again, we can use this to research the kind of companies that we're looking for and be able to let them know that we noticed that they had jobs being posted, and it sounds like they're in some kind of growth phase, right? So Angel.co, and then we have GeekWire here. GeekWire is a great place to come in here and look at startups as well. And we can break this down. We can see here by 100, and then we can see all the different groups here. So we have advertising, aerospace, artificial intelligence, right? BI, cloud computing, all of these in here, and they have their social here. So this is a great place to come in here, where if we wanted to do some research, right, we can go on to their LinkedIn, we can go on to their Twitter, right, the Facebook. So really, really good information here to use for our email personalization. And another great source here is the reddit.com startup group. So this is essentially where it's a Reddit forum here, and you can come in here and actually add your own startup. But obviously what you want to do is come in here and look for different businesses that could potentially be a good fit for your product or service. You can see here what these guys are asking you to do. Location of your headquarters, URL, elevator pitch, the details. So this is a really good place to look at different companies that are in that early stage. Maybe they got some funding, maybe they're struggling with X, Y, and Z. And what you'll find in the Reddit groups here is that they'll talk a lot of stuff behind the scenes that you don't normally see in different groups, right? And so you'll find some really good information that you wouldn't be able to find anywhere else. So highly recommend you check out the startup groups here if you're targeting companies in the startup space. Let's go over here to the next one here. Then we have crazyaboutStartups.com. This is another great resource here. And the next resource here that I'm going to share with you is the crazyaboutStartups.com. So let's go to the startup directory here, and we can see that they have 88 different companies here that is showing. It looks like a lot of these companies here are either like on the East Coast here. There's one in Mexico, Europe, and then over here in India. So again, if you're wanting to go after startups, you're going after startups, these resources here are great. So another one here, Funds. This is one of the best places that I've come across as far as being able to find companies that recently got funded. Because what you can do is once you find out that a company has recently got funded, reach out to the founders and then reach out to the actual angel investors, right? And so it's just like down the chain where we're reaching out to a C-level executive so that they can put us in contact with the VP, or we're reaching out to a VP so that they can put us in contact with a director. So when we hit up the angel investor, right, the venture capital firm, they're going to forward that email over to the founder, and then that founder is most likely going to respond to your email, right? Because that venture capital firm, right, put in some money to actually grow the business. So they're going to make sure that they follow up on your email. So these are the different platforms that I recommend you go and search for. Again, one of the best places is literally going on to Google and typing in your types of companies, and maybe even going through and calling the businesses, right, that you're going after, and just kind of seeing how their sales process is like, or even filling out their contact information, their contact form, right? Just really getting a good idea of how they operate. And maybe being able to find some inefficiencies, right, inconsistencies in there, and you can point that out to them, when you're reaching out. Now, this method here for generating a list is very time intensive, but I just wanted to share with you all these different tools, platforms that you can use. The best ways are going to be by buying a list basically off of SIC code or niche or industry, and being able to get that custom made. I'm going to share with you some resources, and then also going to Upwork.com and being able to get a very refined list built out by contractors. And typically they'll charge you 5, 10, 15, 20 cents per lead, but I'm telling you, it's highly worth it instead of spending all this time here to do all this research manually. So that's going to be here for this video, and we'll see you on the next one. In this video, we're going to go over where to find companies that can build you custom email lists here. So number one here, we have uscompanyleads.com. Now, all of these resources here, I've personally used to download different lists, to buy different lists, right? And these guys have great support, and all of them can typically build you a custom list based off of SIC code. So this one here is uscompanyleads.com. They have ready-made lists already here for various industries, realtors, US company database here. And for $2.99, you can buy 48 million US companies. So we look at how many emails, okay. There's no emails here, but there's emails right here. 5 million emails, not available. So I would definitely contact these guys and find out more about their lists. Here we can see an example. this is fantastic, right? This is what you want here. You want the contact name, phone, business, state, the city there, the zip code, address, the actual website there, and then the SIC category. Those are essentially the industry. And then we have the employees here, annual revenue, year it was founded, and then the actual coordinates here for the actual longitude and latitude. But we don't really need those. Really what we need is to make sure that it's in the right sector, the right market, the right criteria that we're looking for. So what I would do is I would contact these guys and I would ask them, hey, can you give me a quote on a list of XYZ businesses in XYZ industry between, X employees and X revenue? You want to get specific. The more specific that you can get, right, the better these guys can put together very good list for you. So there is uscompanyleads.com here. Then we have Database Bible. Here's another one where you can look at different countries. We can look at different countries here in Argentina, Australia. So worldwide, these guys can provide you lists of different email lists here for different businesses. Then we have by state. We have a target database here. We can look at ready done for you list here in the real estate, oil and gas here, restaurant owners, college, universities, marketing and advertising agencies, right? And so these are already done for you, but you can still contact these guys here and ask them, hey, I'm looking for a list in XYZ industry. And I believe the other one here had a section in here where you can build a list right here. So uscompanyleads.com, you can build a custom list like I was mentioning, industry, location, job title, revenue department, et cetera, et cetera. Same thing here, but I don't think they have a section. You're just gonna need to go to contact us and you'll be able to get a customized email list, right? The countries, states, the industries. So highly recommend you check that out. And then we have Email List USA, Email List US. And these are another one here. These guys will also provide you custom email lists in different sectors. They have good support, and all of these guys, as I mentioned, will create custom lists for you, right? You want XYZ business in XYZ industry. And so you really don't need to be doing a lot of manual work unless you have like a specialized niche or you're doing some preliminary research on your market, or maybe you found through a list here that got created for you, you found maybe 100 or 50 of your hot prospects, right? You want to go research their website, their social media, their news, right? See if you can find something that is unique that you can use to personalize your email. Now, another resource here that I want to share with you is the uscompanieslist.com. These guys have US company database. They have different sections here, different countries. Let's go down here. Let's look at the example. We have company name, industry, address. We have county, zip, state, right? URL, the contact. And then we have here the actual job titles, and then the revenue, SIC description. So again, this is another resource for you to come in here and get custom lists built for you, or lists that they already have, set up and created. And once you get a list here, one of the first things that you want to do is you want to run it through an email verification system. Because if you don't run it through a software that is able to verify the emails for you, you're going to run into a lot of spam traps, a lot of emails that are no longer valid, and you're going to get a lot of bounces. And you want to protect the reputation of your domain and your email address. So one of the actual services that I use here is emaillistverify.com. As you can see here, I have a bunch of emails that just recently got verified. And what you'll do is you'll drag them in here, and then they'll show you how many are valid, how many are invalid, how many are in the spam traps, disposable, duplicates, unknown, and then the accept all. So, and the accept all emails are typically where they'll have several people that will get CC'd or BCC'd on that email. So if you send an email to John Smith at abc.com, right, that email may go to his assistant, to maybe customer support, customer service, whatever that may be, as well as actually going to John Smith himself. So you want to make sure when you're buying the list from any of those websites, you make sure you run it through an email list verification software, such as this one here, so you're not running into any kind of spam traps. You're reducing the amount of bounces and you're protecting the reputation of your domain and your email. So that's going to be here for this video, and we'll see you on the next one. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to create a job on Upwork so that you can find freelancers that can actually get you a list of businesses as far as for within your criteria, right? So as you can see here, I have a job that I posted for lead generation here. And I mentioned that I'm looking for the owner's contact information for all credit repair businesses, companies in the USA. And then I had a doc here, okay? And then I went up here and I created this Google sheet here, Google Doc. And it essentially says, okay, this is a target market right here. I want it to be credit repair businesses in the US. I'm looking for all the contact information as far as the first name, last name, title, company website, state. I'm looking for this as far as revenue, right? And then what I'm asking people to do, this is key here, okay? When you're posting these jobs, you want them to send you a sample mix of about 50 contacts, okay? Because you want to see if they can follow directions and if they can give you the right type of information that you're looking for, right? And some people that will apply will say, hey, you know, what if I send you these leads and you don't pay me or you don't choose me? Or I've had people just come back to me and say, you know, I can't provide you these 50 leads because you're just going to take them and, you know, run away, all these different things. So when you got people that are, you know, a little bit scared to provide you with leads up front to show that they can actually perform, I definitely steer away from those type of contractors. The best kind of contractors are confident in their work, right, in their ability, and they'll provide a list of 50 contacts, no problem. And one of the biggest things here is really just to get them to follow directions, right? And then you can see, okay, these business owners here, right, they've put together this list of 50 prospects and they've done it exactly how I want it to be set up, right? So here is, going back over here, this is a job post here. And you want to make this very simple. You know, I'm looking for XYZ businesses. And then you have this doc here. And what I did is I hired about 6 different people here, okay? And what ends up happening is that you can test out different, you know, prospects, different folks that are actually going to scrape this data, get this data. The ones that I found to work the best here, this gal right here, definitely works very, very well. And also this individual here, I forgot his name, so let's go over here. These two guys are part of a, let's go to, see if we can look at the profile. Yeah, so these two fellas here are part of an agency, I think it is. Let's go over here. Okay, so yeah, these guys right here are definitely very, very good at what they do. So expert admin services. Yeah, so highly recommend these two guys here. They do extremely well with putting together customized lists, okay? And all you got to do is, again, ask them, hey, I want these types of businesses that fit within this criteria. For emailing, I would recommend that you include these fields here. You can put industry, whatever that is, because really all you're needing is the name, email, and maybe something about the business. But I'd like to get this information for myself. I'd like to see, okay, they have X number of employees, they have X number of revenue range, right? So the biggest thing here when you're posting a job is making sure that they provide a list of at least 50 free contacts. So let's go over here and let's go to post a job here. So how we would be able to do this, right? Create a new job post. Let's go to short term. Let's go to continue. Let's go lead generation for XYZ businesses. Okay. And then lead generation, let's go to next here. You can literally just copy this here, what I got. Well, let's just write it over here. So let's go. I am looking for business contact information for XYZ companies, and here is a Google Doc where you can see the exact criteria. Okay, and then I recommend you put a link here, and then you create the actual list here as far as the criteria. Get very specific with whoever you want to target, right? And then post this job. Let's go to the next here. I would put a ongoing project, or you can do one time, whatever is best for you there. So let's go to data scraping, lead list there, prospect list, go next. You can do worldwide. I definitely recommend worldwide because you'll get some really good service, even though it is overseas. No specific there. Let's go to next here. We want to hire one freelancer. Let me see here. Do we have any freelancers you want to invite? No. This is if you have somebody you've worked with in the past, or somebody that you want to actually reach out to that may be on your list. Okay, talent preferences. Yeah, we want to get here. We want to make sure that either one of these is good. I like to do at least 100 hours, and then 90% and up. No type of group affiliations there. Okay, great. Let's go up here. Let's go only Upwork. Okay, and then next. Okay, pay by the hour. Pay a fixed price. So typically what I'll do is I'll either do like a pay by the hour, and I'll do expert, and then I'll put in like, I don't know, 10, 20, 30, whatever dollars an hour, just to be a placeholder and say, hey, I'm looking for somebody to do this. You know, I'm looking for expert talent, you know, pricing is negotiable, or whatever that may be, right? Let's go more than 6 months, or we can go 3 to 6 months here. Okay. And then let's go to less than 30 hours a week. Okay, great. And so this is where we would essentially just go to post now. Now, typically I don't have them do any type of cover letter. Let's move this here. Let's just add some screening questions here. Create your own. Actually, let's go from the one selected. If you have any questions, okay, boom, just a couple there. Obviously, they got to be relevant to your particular, you know, contractor that you're looking for there, and the skills that you want them to have. So this would be, you know, right here, boom, post job now. So basically what will happen is you'll get a bunch of people that will apply, and if the contractors do not provide, right, this list here of 50 contacts, then you got to move on to the next one, right? And I already gave you a couple examples there of different contractors that you can use that I've personally used that have delivered great results. So that's going to be it here for this video on how you can hire a freelancer on Upwork, a contractor, to build you customized lists. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks. Hey guys, Juan here. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through how to find anybody's email address. So one of the first tools here that I want to show you is the mailtester.com. So this is a really good tool here to be able to help you really identify and verify if email addresses that you may have purchased from a list or gotten from somebody, or maybe even an email list that you got from somewhere online, right? To come in here and check the email address to make sure that it is correct. But I want to show you some tools that are going to really allow you to find really anybody's email address. And one of the tools that is actually one of the most kept secrets, I haven't really had anybody really talking about this. And, you know, I actually kept this one to myself and kept it kind of a secret down low for a while, but I want to share it with you now. So this tool here is Nymeria. There's a lot of different tools, and we'll walk through a couple of them here. There's like the Mail Hunter, right? There's I think there's like Viola Norbert, there's Twofer, but there's only a couple that I really like and that have been working extremely well for me. Nymeria is actually quite low. They've only been around for a couple years, but quite low as far as costs. They've been around for a couple years and they work extremely well. Now, their setup is a bit different. They have it where you're going to LinkedIn and you're pulling up emails. You're not able to like go into kind of like the other one. I think it's Mail Hunter, where you can put in a domain. This one's strictly for LinkedIn, but I want to show you just how powerful this tool is. We've been using it for quite some time. So here is the plan here. You can go through and get 1,000 emails for 19 a month, 3,000 for 39 a month, and so forth and so on. So let me show you here. So we got this individual here, and what you'll do is you'll get a add-on up here on your in your bar here, and it's a little eagle, or not eagle, excuse me, a wolf. And what this does is it shows you up here +1 that there's an email here, and so this pulls up his email. And so literally what you can do is either create a new list or export this to a different list. And as you can see here, we have a bunch of different email lists there, but that's literally how simple it is. Now, one of the things that I also recommend you do is, if you're going to be doing this, it's a lot of manual work. So LinkedIn Sales Navigator is actually a good tool to have, because you can visit a whole bunch of profiles and it'll unlock a bunch of profiles. Because if you just have a simple kind of LinkedIn profile that it's not paid, right, you're going to be very limited on the amount of searches that you can get with people and their different titles. So I would highly recommend that you get like LinkedIn Sales Navigator. It's even free for 30 days, from what I understand. And then you can, just gather a bunch of emails. So that's essentially the first tool there. Very inexpensive here. 1,000 emails a month, $19, $39 a month, 3,000 emails. And you can, take breaks. These guys don't have any contracts. So let's say you spend $39 1 month and get 3,000 contacts, and then wait a couple months, right? Because you're, using up this list here. So great little tool there. The other one here that I recommend, that I also have used quite a bit, is the, I believe this is the Hunter.io. And this one is a bit different because you get to add different websites in there as well. And so let's say that I wanted to find a particular dentist, dentist in Seattle. Now I wanted to find a email address for one of these folks here, one of their websites. Let's go on the second page here. Let's say we're trying to sell SEO. Let's see here. Yeah, this guy right here just has a bad title. Okay. Let me show you. Okay, this one here, do they even have it on their website? We can just literally copy and paste. Go to here. Excuse me. And then we type in the actual domain search and go to search. And okay, most common patterns. First, office. Okay, so this one isn't showing the email address, but one of the great things, and that's why I showed you the mail tester, is this tool. It works really well because it gives you kind of a most common pattern. Let me show you here. So whenever you are looking to like find the business owner's email address, and let's say you can't find it and you got something like this that pops up. Let me pull that up again. You can essentially test out the email addresses to find one that it actually pulls up in the mail tester. So I'll walk you through one here. So this one here, it shows us that the most common type of pattern here is first name, okay, at the Biderman DDS, okay. So that one would be this one here. No, it would be like Michelle right here. It would be this one. So let's look back and let's try to find who this dentist is. What is his name? Okay. Contact us. Okay, so it doesn't even have. Oh, there you go, Kevin. Let's try Kevin, and let's go to the mail tester. Go to Kevin. Should have got the URL actually. Okay, let's go here. Go boom. Okay, let's try this here. Okay, see, so this one tells us that the email address is not on the server. Let's try a Dr. Dr. Kevin. Okay. Huh. Yep. So as you can see, you gotta play around with this a little bit. Let's go back. What is his name? Huh. Yeah. So this one would require quite a bit of testing. It says that's the most common pattern, but I would even go Kevin.B. Let's try that. No. Yeah, so for whatever reason, this one here, we're not able to pull it up. Yeah, so unfortunately, this one here is a no-go. We're not able to find that one. So let's see if we can even find a different one, because oftentimes you can find a bunch of different emails through different companies. So let's even go to the next one here. So let's go to copy this. Let's go back to, no, not mail tester here. And let's see what we can pull up in here. Okay, so this is Gigi. Not really sure who that is. But let's see what this is here. Is Gigi the actual doctor here? Let me see. Okay, so it's not. Huh. Well, who's the doctor? Dr. Baker. Let's even try something here. Let me go over here. Go Dr. Baker. And then let's go here. Copy. At. Boom. Huh. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure this one might be it here, but for whatever reason, sometimes what's going to happen is you're going to come to a point where you reach someone like this, where server doesn't allow email address verification, which means that they may have some kind of spam filter. They may have some kind of firewall protection. And so it's not allowing you to get access to that, because what this does is it essentially pings the server to see and to make sure that the actual address is on the server and is valid. So this is another tool here that I would highly recommend that you use. Just trying to find different, different websites and their email addresses. I like this Numeria tool a whole lot better, because you can just go on LinkedIn and just look for people's email addresses that way as well. So let me even go over here. Let me go here and see if this guy's email address is able to get pulled up. Okay, so it shows here that there's no +1, so that means that there's no email. Okay, but oftentimes it will find an email. Now, I want to also show you an email finder. This is another one too, where you can come in here and look for different email addresses, and you can also upload emails and get them verified to see if they're actually, the right kind of emails. So the ones that I really recommend, honestly, it's going to be Hunter.io and Numeria, because they are the most, I guess, accurate from what I've seen. I mean, because there's a ton of different tools out there. I want to be able to share with you, the information and the different types of platforms and softwares out there to help you find people's emails that are the most accurate, because I've tested them, I've tried them right. I'm not just trying to tell you from fluff. So let's go, and I want to show you a strategy to be able to find people's email addresses for prospecting. So you have a particular search query here that we've put in here. And this is for when we're finding, because a lot of even dentists that are kind of old school that make great prospects for marketing, Facebook marketing, Google marketing, maybe even a whole new website. A lot of these folks I've found that are even still on YP.com, Yellow Pages doing marketing. So it's just like, come on, guys, it's time to upgrade. So what we're able to do here is type in dentist@gmail.com, okay, site LinkedIn. So here it pulls up email addresses that are on LinkedIn, okay? And I think these guys typically have like, they're in the email addresses are on like their profile. So obviously you want to get away from like this one here where it's where's it at? In Iraq here. Let me see here. Is this guy even Iraq? Because we'd want to put in, okay, yeah, so let's go back and see if we can even put in, let's go Seattle. Okay, yep, this one actually was able to give us some more emails. See if we can put it in quotes here, or let's go to Seattle. Okay, yep, here we have some more emails right here, right here. But let's just go back here, and you can play around with this and search for different cities and really get a lot more specific with the search criteria. But I just want to give you an idea of how this works and how you're able to extract the data. So from here, we go to Control All. Well, actually, let's go here, and I want to just highlight all of this, copy, and then you go to this site here, which is eel.surf7.net.my. And you're able to put in all of that data in here, okay? And then you go to extract. And so now what this does is it provides you all of the clean email addresses here for you to be able to actually, use to prospect. So this is a nice little tool here that allows you to find these email addresses and be able to, reach out to different people based on that. Now, if you also want to use a different kind of service to find really anybody's email, you can use one of these different, let me see here, service providers that actually, let's go to Data Scraper. Okay. And you can actually find people to scrape websites for you or scrape platforms. So let's say you wanted to have somebody out there that goes and scrapes, hey, listen, I want all of the dentists in Seattle. I want you to pull all their data for me, all their emails, all this stuff. These guys would be able to do that for you. And a lot of this stuff is custom. So this guy here, okay, I provide services for web scraping, data mining, data extraction from any website or directory. Another place to find even emails are directories, but this guy here looks like he can scrape from any website, any directory. Oh, wow, this is great. This guy, I may even have to start using him. I haven't even tried his services, but he has, perfect score here, 5.0. Fantastic. Okay. So that's another way to go about it, is have somebody scrape data for you, and they'll put it in a nice little spreadsheet. And you can really literally find anybody's email address that way, because you have the ability to have this guy scrape these websites. What they'll do is they'll create like these custom codes, these custom bots and softwares, and it'll kind of go incognito and go on these sites and literally scrape all their data. It's pretty insane. But these guys, at $5, it's just like there's so much valuable information and data that can be pulled. So this is just this quick video here to show you really how you can find really anybody's email address by making sure that if you want to kind of verify that address is good, putting it through here, through Mail Tester, and then utilizing tools such as Numeria, which has been kind of my bread and butter for a while. I didn't even want to, I was thinking twice about putting it in this video, but that's how much valuable information that I want to provide you guys with, because I understand that it could have a significant impact in your business and in your life, and I want to be able to share that with you. So utilizing Numeria for LinkedIn email verification, and then the Mail Hunter, hunter.io here for finding like websites. Also, you can find, they have a little icon up here, or the browser add-on, that I don't really use it that much, because I typically I'm going to be going through and finding like websites that I want email addresses for, or using Numeria, and I don't really do that anymore. I have somebody do that for me. But if you're just kind of starting out, you're on a budget, highly recommend Numeria and the hunter.io. And I think even hunter.io gives you a free 100 searches or queries or whatever, so you can verify the emails there. So that is it for this video here, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks. All right, so I'm going to go over a CRM here that I started out using when I first got rolling with my agency here, and it's a free CRM. It's in Sitely.com. It's actually really, really good. They actually have a free account that you can have. I think it's up to, gosh, I think it's like 5,000 or 2,000 leads you can put in here. So they have their paid plans here, then they have a free. Now, one of the things that I recommend, because I think you're going to be limited to about 2,000 users and leads that you can put in there, is that you have your Google Sheets, right? And you have like your list when you're doing like cold email, right? You have that in there, and that you're transferring hot leads that have responded to you, that have had, any kind of interaction with you, that have said, yes, I'm interested, tell me more, right? And that's where you would want to move them into the CRM, right? But just remember, you're only going to have about 2,500 of the actual records that you can put in there, leads you can put in there. So just make sure to only put people into the CRM that you're actually, working with, as far as are in your process, right, in your funnel. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and log in, and I'm going to show you some of the great things that you can do here for what they offer in their free, package here. It's just insane as far as using any other type of CRM out there in the marketplace for free. So let's go ahead and jump right in here. So we're here on the dashboard, and as you can see here on the left hand side, we have home, tasks, contacts, organizations, leads, opportunities, projects. And this is just for like emails, if you want to send emails through here, but I haven't used this, so I cannot recommend that. But I want to show you just how easy and simple this is here. So when we go to tasks, okay, this is from when I actually first started my agency, gosh, almost 2 years ago there. And I want to show you the great thing here that we can do with this software CRM here. So basically what you can do is you can set daily tasks in here, right? And essentially whenever you complete it here, so just for example, follow-up, right? Follow-up video analysis. Whenever we're complete with that on the daily task, we just click on that, and we essentially have completed that task, okay? And here we can see the dates. And how we would add a task is we would go to new, okay, let's say follow-up, okay, assigned to me. Let's say we wanted to follow up on Monday the 15th, right? Here we put some more information, and then we would essentially put here some notes. Let's say follow up on last, or follow up on email, okay? And let's go to save. So every day, right? It's, if you put the date on there, right, for today, tomorrow, whatever, it's going to show you, when these follow-ups are for, right? The exact date. So if you can see here, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? Thursday. And then after you're done, right, you just literally click on the task, right? It's done, here we go, right? This is the actual one that's coming up for next week that we just created. So, we essentially mark this task complete here. right? Once we're done here. And so this is essentially where you're going to put all your daily tasks. And so you're going to wake up every morning and you're going to be able to see, okay, so I need to follow up with so-and-so. I need to follow up with this individual. I need to send out this email. All right, so this is how you're essentially going to be able to see all your tasks on a daily basis, where you're going to have all your follow-ups, right, for all your leads. You're going to see exactly who's in the pipeline, so nothing falls through the cracks, right? I remember for a long time I was doing just kind of Google Sheets, right, Google Docs, to be able to put in leads and, you know, figure out where they were in the process. But a lot of the leads were falling in through the cracks, right? But I started using this, and a lot of the leads actually, you know, we started closing and actually getting some traction because I started to see where everything was. Okay, so very, very important here. So contacts. Okay, here's our essentially all the contacts within each organization. Okay, and here are the different organizations. So how you would go about this is you would add in, let's say, an organization, let's say ABC company. Okay, and then we put a phone number, 123 456 789. Okay, let's go to, you know, website.com, right? And then if you want to put the address, okay, so this is essentially what we would do then, is then go to save. Okay, so now let's say we wanted to connect an individual as the owner of this business here, of this organization, right? We would go down here and we would go to add new contacts, right? We would put in, you know, John Doe. Okay, let's say owner. Okay, put in his email address, right? And then we would go to save. Okay, and so now we know that this individual is tied to this organization. So let's go to organizations. Let's go to ABC. Okay, ABC company. All right, so we see now that I own this particular organization, right? If you want to have, you know, multiple people in here, and I think the free one's only able to have 2 people on here within the organization. So we can see here, John Doe is the owner. Okay, and then let me just walk you through these sections in here. So history, this is essentially all the different notes that are going to show up in here that you actually made and did. Here we're going to have any of the emails related to them, or any people in there as well. Here's the notes. So let's say we wanted to put in some notes in here. Let's say consultation call notes, right? Spoke with John and sounds like he is looking to move forward early next week. Okay, and then add note. Okay, so now, right, we can go into this organization at any given time and see what the history is. Okay, consultation call notes, right? Spoke with John, sounds like he's looking to move forward early next week. So it's a way to get very, very organized with all your notes, all your information, right? Date created here. We can see who it was created by. This is such a great tool here, and it's free. I think it's up to 2,000 different accounts you can put in here. So it's just huge, huge value here. So let's go back here, and I want to show you. So there's notes, there's files if you want to attach them. Here's tasks. Let's say we wanted to put in an individual task, right, just for this organization. Let's say follow up on presentation. Okay, and let's say we wanted to have that be on the 16th. Okay, and then, you know, follow up on presentation from last week. Okay, save. All right, so now we have this task in here, right, for next week. Now, this is going to show up in our tasks for upcoming for next week, right? So this is a great way for us to be able to come in here and add organizations, right? And then have individuals tied to each organization, right? It's just a great way. As you can see here, we have this this follow-up here now, follow-up presentation, right, for Wednesday, May 16th. So whenever we were to complete this, right, we would just go to complete task and boom, right, we would be done. So this is a phenomenal, phenomenal tool here. Highly recommend you sign up for a free account here. So now let's go to leads. This is really where if you want to come in here and let's say you have people that you've talked to, if you want to add those in here, this would be great as well. And then you can tag them here. So as you can see here, we had some that were tagged that we got through Craigslist, through our email campaign, through some web design partners that we were working with. So this is where you want to add individual leads, and then once they're like in the actual process where you've spoke to them, they're interested, maybe you've done a presentation, then you can add them in as an organization. So this would be the best way for you to put in names in here, right, of leads that you're trying to reach out to. Okay, so this is the opportunities, and let me show you. So let's go to edit this opportunity. Now, one of the great things you can do is once you have an organization, right, set up, and let's say you've spoke to them and they have, decided to get on the call with you, they booked the call, you can set up a actual sales process for you with different steps. So the way we had it is we had a discovery form application, we had a video analysis, and a follow-up phone close, okay? And maybe for you, if you want to do like, let's say 3 steps here where you have the initial phone call booking, and then the presentation, and then the close, or maybe even where you have a initial phone call, right? Kind of a consultation, initial phone call, then you do a presentation, and then you have the close. So it's up to you. This is one of the great things here because you can move this actual, organization into different steps. So let's say they are in the video analysis step, right? And then we go to save. Okay, so now they're in the video analysis stage here. Okay, and we can move them in and out of the actual stages. Now, as we can see here, this opportunity here has changed from the discovery form application to video analysis, right? So you can actually go, there's quite a bit of videos. I don't want to get this video to be too long, but there's quite a bit of videos on YouTube that can walk you through step by step how to make a conversion funnel here. So you can have different steps and see where everybody is within your funnel, okay? I just want to kind of give you guys a overview of this software here, CRM, because it's free and it's just fantastic. I mean, it's just insane how many great features here. Now, let's go to projects. Now, projects here, this is essentially where you would have all projects. If you wanted to kind of maintain here and have this be your project management, okay, in here, and talk about kind of, let's say like a Facebook ad project for a client, click on this and then put in history in here, information, write notes, currently adding, currently setting up account, maybe have, ads been running for a couple weeks, whatever it is. If you're just starting out and you want to make things very simple, I definitely recommend that you use this projects setup in here because it's really easy to convert one of these opportunities into a project. So let's say we were to, let's say convert project, okay? And we would convert this into a, let's say Facebook ads, okay? And, we can put in here, there's a reason for winning. We can modify that. So we would convert this into a project now, okay? So let's go to projects. So now you can see, where's it at? Okay, here we go. Facebook ads. I would change this. I would edit this. Facebook ads for solar. Okay. 3D. Okay. So now we can see this project in here, Facebook ads for solar 3D. We would have all the history, the notes you'd want to put in here. Let's say, 5/16 starting Facebook ads campaign. Okay, got information from client and all is ready to go for next week to start on Tuesday, right? Whatever, just to make sure that you are on top of things here. Okay, so there you go. So then when you go into this project, now you know exactly what it's about, okay, the history here, and then you can see all of the notes in here, right? Files, right? Any files you want to attach, milestones, anything you've done. It's insane the amount of value and stuff you can do with it that will save you so many headaches, because I'm telling you, I had so many things fall through the cracks, right? So many leads, so many opportunities. that I was, banging my head against the wall. And finally, when I came across the software, I started using it until I found something else. We use SalesFlare now. That I think it's like $35-40 a month, but it's just has a whole lot more features. But this, for just if you're starting out, all of the benefits, all the features this has for you to get started, to have leads, to work with your CRM and work with maybe, let's say, a business partner, is going to be a killer deal for you, right? So I just wanted to share this with you. Hopefully you guys can take advantage of this. In this video, we're gonna go over how to write emails that convert into booked meetings. So our intention is to develop a list, send out an email, write that email in a way that really connects, resonates with that individual, and then gets them to schedule a call with us so we can find out if there's an opportunity for us to potentially partner together. So I'm going to walk you through essentially what the copywriter's mindset is here. And quite simply, the definition of copywriting is the art and science of writing words that sell your product or service and convinces prospects and customers to take action. So our goal with writing an email is to get that prospect to respond to our call to action. We want to come across friendly, like we're having a conversation, like we're looking to find out a little bit more about them, and then schedule a call to see if there's an opportunity there, right? So with the copywriter's mindset, the goal of the subject line is to get you to read the first sentence. And then the goal of the first sentence is to get you to read the second sentence. So what we're really doing here is we're capturing attention, and then we are essentially leading them towards a destination that we want them to go and an action that we want them to take, right? Now, with the subject line, this is the most important part here of your email, because you can have the most beautifully well-crafted email, but if you don't have a good enough subject line that invokes curiosity, that hits a pain point, provides some sort of benefit, right? Because you have to remember, these guys get a ton of emails every single day, and you're competing for their attention. You have to have something in their email box that really invokes their curiosity and wants them to open it. I mean, I get a ton of emails every single day, and I get very few far and in between that are actually well worth my time, where at times I'll even reply back and say, hey, I really love how you phrase this email, very enticing, although we may not be a good fit at this time, but I'm definitely keeping you on my list because I just love how you put together this very curiosity-based email and how it really got my attention, right? And I'll even take bits and pieces of that for my future emailing as well. So again, the subject line is critically important. You want to be able to get people to open that email so they can open that first line, right? That first sentence, and then get them to read that second sentence there. So now with the length of the emails, I like to keep them as short as possible. I typically recommend 1 to 3 sentences for shorter emails and 3 to 5 sentences for longer emails. So we're going to walk through a lot of different examples here of the types of emails. We're going to go over some templates. Now let's go over some subject lines here. So here we have 4 different types of subject lines. Number 1 here is the self-interest type of subject line. This type of email is very direct, straightforward, and speaks to a specific benefit that your customer will gain from opening the email. So here's an example. Do you have capacity for X customers at this time? So we're asking a question and we're implying we have the ability to generate customers, patients, whatever that may be for that particular business. Number 2, which is my favorite here, curiosity. Curiosity will get just about anyone to open an email. It's human nature. You want to have something where it's nice and short, just like this here, where you have the name and then you have a question. Or you can have, John, quick question about X, or question about X or Y, right? Whatever that may be that you have a question on, it really gets people to be curious about what you have to say about that, right? Number 3, the offer. This type of email is a direct offer. So here's an example. Do you have capacity for X customers at this time, right? So we're just coming across and we're asking them, hey, do you have capacity? It's a direct offer, pretty much letting them know that we have the ability to generate leads, to generate more customers, right? And it's just on them to see if they have that capacity, right? So it's pretty much a straightforward direct offer there. Number 4, urgency and scarcity. So these are really good when you have sent multiple emails and you have, let's say, the third, the fourth, the fifth email, and you let them know, hey, this is the last chance to X, or closing the loop, or something along those lines, where you're letting them know that, hey, this is your last chance to X, because in the email you're going to have, these are the reasons. Hey, we can only work with 3 to 4 clients at a month because we want to dedicate that time and service, right? We don't take on too many clients each month because we want to make sure that we're providing the best possible service, right? So these emails are really good, but they work better towards the third, the fourth, the fifth email when you've already sent, multiple emails initially. So then we have number 5 here, which is the news. This is really good here because you can really personalize your emails, and we're going to walk through a lot of the different personalization strategies here. But when you can bring up something about their business, or maybe their industry, it really gets them to be curious about what exactly you have in the email. So mentioning something new in their field, such as, hey, did you know that, or do you know that X, Y, and Z just happened in your industry? I wanted to make sure that you were aware and how this is affecting X, Y, and Z. Number 6, social proof. This is a huge one here as well, because you are mentioning that you got X type of results for somebody else and they're happy and they provided you a testimonial, and then you're looking to see if that particular business would also like to get the same results that you got for your other client, right? That case study. An example here is how John was able to X or Y, right? And maybe you're reaching out to a particular company and letting them know, hey, how XYZ company, or how Steve was able to get XYZ growth or XYZ customers, whatever that may be, right? But with social proof, this is such a huge deal here, because you're no longer, doing a direct offer. You're no longer doing anything as far as any kind of self-interest type of email. This is all about the customer, and you're actually showing them results, right? Because a lot of people nowadays, especially in the online world, will talk a big game. They'll talk about this. Hey, I can get you this many leads. I can get you, this many customers, all this stuff, right? But very few have case studies and real live work that they can show that they've done for previous clients, customers, that they can show their actual potential prospects, right? So when you can show and you can say, hey, we've provided XYZ result for XYZ customer, client, how would you like to have these similar results, right? So social proof, highly recommend this one as well. Number 7 here, story. This is where you're telling a story, teasing at the beginning of one. Really powerful, because it comes back into the curiosity element there, and you're really getting them to become curious about what exactly this story is about. So here's an example. It all started when I was 5 years old. Just think about receiving that particular subject line, that particular email, right? You would be very curious to want to know what is in that email. And stories are how we can connect with people, right? Because if you're just telling people stuff and you're just, talking at them, that's one thing. And being able to tell a story of how you went through struggle emotionally, how you went through all these different hurdles and challenges and how you overcame those, right? That's what people can connect with. And that's what's really important when you're telling a story, right? So these are the most common subject lines here that I highly recommend you utilize in these 7 different categories. So now let's go over the top subject lines. Here are 23 subject lines that you can use for all your emails. And you can see here, number 1 is question about goal, right? Maybe they have written an article, or they got some PR somewhere talking about they wanted to grow their business. They're looking to expand, whatever that may be, right? Number 2, mutual connection. So this is where you reached out maybe to a C-level exec and they referred you back to the director or the manager. You can use that email here as well. And then hi, name, question. These are one of the best email subject lines here, because it's, talking to them directly. You're stating their name, and then you're asking a question. That question can be about anything and everything. So that curiosity plays a huge factor there. Hoping to help, just a simple, hey, I'm hoping to help maybe increase your business, whatever that may be. Those can typically be read as a marketing type of email. So I would, be careful with those. Hoping you can help. These are really good for reaching out to the top layer individuals. So the C-level folks, if you're going after the VPs for if you're going after managers and directors. Then we have number 6 here, a benefit for prospects company. So here you're just pretty much stating a benefit that you can provide for XYZ company. And then X tips, ideas for pain points. So this is where you've researched pain points for your particular market. You know that they struggle, let's say, to get more customers. And then you provide, 5 tips or whatever for that particular pain point. Number 8 here, we have idea for topic the prospect cares about. This is another thing where we have researched the pain points, maybe a challenge, maybe an opportunity for that business, and we're stating that in there. Number 9, I found you through, and then we can say the referral there. Maybe we contacted again a C-level exec or somebody above the line, and we have used them as a referral to contact them and reach out. Number 10, we have a fact in common, whatever fact that may be. Let's say you guys went to the same school. Let's say you guys have similar connections on LinkedIn, whatever that may be. You want to find something, common, mutual ground there. Number 11 here, prospect, I thought you might like this. So this is really good as well because you're playing into curiosity. You're stating their name and you're letting them know that you thought that they might like this. And that can be pretty much anything, right? So again, these kind of emails with the curiosity elements are the best here. And then number 12, do not open this email unless, this one is kind of on the fence there. I would test this. I mean, we've gotten pretty good results with using emails like these, but it's definitely on the line there, on the borderline as far as it being kind of spammy and people actually opening the email. So number 13 here, I can schedule 2 days next week to make the start, which are best for you. So that's really more of a subject line to be used when you've gone through the sales process and you're looking to get them to actually start up and get moving towards starting the project, right? And then at number 14, this is an email subject line that I use that works extremely well because it lets them know, hey, what's going on? So basically, let's walk through this one here. So closing the loop. This is something that I use where we've gone through the sales process. There's multiple people involved in the sales process, okay? And they all need to get together and discuss the deal, right? The whole project. After I haven't heard back for a week or two after I mentioned to them that, hey, I would reach out. So in this particular email, I'll pretty much say like, hey, I haven't heard back from you and I haven't heard back regarding our last discussion about X, Y, and Z. I'm going to assume that you've gone in a different direction or your priorities have changed. Let me know if we can be of assistance in the future. And I'll get a lot of emails back saying, hey, Juan, we're actually still in discussions. We have not, put this to the side. We're actually very still interested in moving forward. We just got to knock down a few things within here, our team internally, right? So that's a good way to make sure that, you're still in the loop in the deal, and that if they have moved on and their priorities have changed, that you'll get, the actual notice, right? They'll tell you, what the deal is there. So number 15 here, did you know about this topic of interest? So here's another one where you can personalize this, maybe research something about their industry, their business, maybe they were featured in some PR, whatever that may be. Number 16 here, a unique sales advantage over your competition. Now, this one is a little bit more kind of direct, can be considered quote unquote as spam. And spam is really in the eye of the beholder, right? So where you and I can look at an email and say, this is spam. But then somebody else can look at an email and say, no, I don't agree, that's not spam. And this over here is spam. So spam is really all on, how you look at it and your frame of mind, right? Because it's just a matter of opinion, right? So when we look at this one here, again, it is a little bit more direct and you are essentially going to be taken as somebody who's pitching your product or service, but it definitely is something that I would recommend you test and see how it works for you. A lot of these are going to depend on your industry as well. So let's look at number 17 here, looking for active and healthy businesses. So this is another great one here, because what business out there is not going to consider themselves as active and healthy, right? So highly recommend you test that out as well. Number 18 here, hi John, I noticed a key issue, problem, whatever that may be, piece of code is missing on your website or on X, whatever that may be. So this is really good for if you've actually gone to their website and you've noticed, like, let's say they don't have a Facebook pixel there if you're doing marketing, or they don't have like a proper SEO code, or they have, issues with their, actual website SEO optimization, right? They don't have the proper headline, the proper title tags, proper, keywords in there, right? So whatever it is that you found out that they're missing on their website is what you can use there. So number 19, your sales could suffer if you don't do this. Again, this is straightforward. It's direct. It's letting them know that you are most likely pitching them. So it may be less of an open rate, but you'll get a lot more people that are serious about actually increasing their sales and what they can do to prevent from actually losing business, right? Losing sales. Number 20 here, something of interest. This can be anything. So again, playing into the curiosity element there. Number 21, are you familiar with this? Another curiosity deal here where this can be anything here, right? And so you're getting them to at least open the email and see what you have to say. 22, again, what do you think? What do you think about anything, right? It can be the news, it can be the market, the industry news, whatever it is that you dug up or that may be of interest to them. Number 23 here, is this normal, right? And this can be anything. So again, the questions, the ones that have the curiosity elements are going to be the best, because it's just human nature for people to want to open up emails that have something of interest that, they don't know about or could potentially have an impact in their business. So that's going to be it here for this video, and we'll see you on the next one. In this video, we're going to talk about email personalization. Now, this is going to be by far one of your best ways to get actual meetings booked, because what you're doing is you're personalizing things so that they actually get the first individual's name that you're trying to actually contact, right, in the email, in the subject line more often than not. And then you're also researching a little bit about the company so that you can state something that you found, that you noticed, that you were researching on a website and you found out that they have, XYZ initiative, or that they're hiring, or that they were featured in, whatever it is that they were featured in as far as a PR, public relation type of website. So this is the best way here for you to be able to really get a connection, really start a conversation with an individual, because they're going to see you as a difference maker, right? Because you're not just like everybody else who's just pitching them or just trying to position yourself, as somebody who can sell them XYZ service. You're actually having a conversation with them, and you're coming across as if you're just, trying to see if there may be an opportunity here. But we do this by personalizing a couple sentences here. So let me go ahead and show you how we're going to go about doing this. So as I mentioned, the email personalization is the best way to stand out from your competitors, right? Everybody else is sending, hey, can you take on more leads? Hey, can you do all this stuff, right? And you're not really asking a question, and you're not being personal, like you're having a conversation with somebody, right? So this is an email here that is really about curiosity. The number one reason why people read an email is because they have their name in there, right? You have their name, hey John, hey Chris, hey Steve, whatever that may be, right? So if you're sending emails without having that actual individual's name, then I'm sure you can look at the results and see that you're not getting very many opens, because you want to come across like you almost know this person, and they can feel that sense of, hey, this is like a friend that knows me. They know my name. They know something about me. So it's more personal, right? And one of the key things here is that people love to feel a sense of significance, okay? and importance. So the more that you can mention, hey, I noticed that you wrote XYZ article on Forbes, or you were featured on XYZ article on Forbes, whatever that may be, right? Once you can make them feel a sense of significance, importance, right? And you're giving them, that attaboy, that kudos, that'll make them feel like you guys are connected, right? There's that rapport that is being built over an email. So when you're personalizing, you're typically doing it in 2 to 3 different areas. So the first one here is most importantly in the headline, where you are stating, something that you found about their particular business. And then the second one is the first line, okay? And then the third one is the PS, which is optional, but it keeps it conversational, and it's asking a question, and it kind of removes the whole frame of mind that it's a pitch, right? That's coming across as a pitch. And I'm going to show you some examples here. So researching personalization. So what I recommend is that for every type of email that you're going to be doing, personalization on, that you spend 2 to 10 minutes max viewing their social media profiles, website, literally typing into Google, news or information on XYZ company, XYZ industry, go to their LinkedIn profile, right? Find something that you can use as a personalization. Doesn't have to be something big, simply something that makes you stand out and lets them know that you're not like everybody else, and you actually research them, and then you're giving them a sense of importance, right? Significance. So recommend that you just literally go onto Google, go onto all these different places, and research those decision makers about their company, about themselves, about a project they worked on, whatever that may be, as long as you're really personalizing the email there. So there's 3 different personalization strategies that we're going to cover here. So the number one, it's the research corporate news. So this is where you're researching on Google about XYZ company, or maybe about the individual, and just literally doing a Google search, right? And your headline can be, hey, John saw that XYZ recently did Y or X, right? Maybe they wrote an article, or they merged with another company, or they have a new product that they're releasing, whatever that may be, right? And then the first line, hey, John saw XYZ recently did X. That must be helping you with X, Y, and Z, right? And then the PS line, how is XYZ working for you? So the PS line is optional, but you are asking them a question about what it is that they recently did, accomplished, on maybe a new product that they released, whatever that may be, right? So personalization strategy number 2. This is where you've researched maybe a news publication site, a press release, maybe on Forbes, Fox News, whatever that may be, as far as a particular news release platform that you found information about that company or about that individual. Here's a good headline. Hey, John, saw that you were recently published on Fortune or Forbes or whatever, Huffington Post, whatever that may be. The first line, hey, John, saw that you were recently published on Fortune. Sounds like you're X, Y, and Z. It can be that they're growing, that they're expanding, that they recently, released a product, whatever that may be. Again, right? You want to go and research and find something that you can put in there that is relevant to that individual or that company. PS line here, again, it's optional, but here's asking a question where you're asking them how it feels, right? How does it feel to be published on such a premier news publication site such as Fortune or Forbes, right? Because those are the big boys, the big players that, it definitely would be an honor to be, actually featured on, right? So you want to ask them how that makes them feel, because then you're really, building that rapport even deeper. And this is all done through an email. It's the power of cold email marketing. So number 3 here, you have the headline where you're saying, hey, John, quick question about XYZ business. This is just a simple, question, curiosity, or you mentioning that you saw them on XYZ website and you had a question about whatever that may be, right? And then this is more generic here. You have a PS line. How are things going for you in Q2? Now, depending on the size of the company, it may be a little bit too personal, but you can make it a little bit more vague and more broad as far as the question there. And then using the PS, right? I mentioned this is optional, but it makes them want to answer it, right? It makes it more like a conversation, like we're just having a normal conversation here. There's no pitching, there's no selling. There's just, hey, we're just having a chat here via email. And then it's best in the form of a question so that it gets them to answer. I mean, just think about if, somebody was sent the email, hey, I noticed that you were featured on Forbes, and then you have a PS line. How does it feel to be published on such a premier news publication such as Forbes? You're going to want to respond to that, right? Because it's a big deal. And so it shows that human elements that, we're really looking to find out, how that has made them feel that sense of importance and significance by being featured on that particular website. So that's going to be it here for this video on the email personalization, and we'll see you on the next one. In this video, we're going to go over the email guidelines. So let's go right ahead and jump into this. So this is what you're going to typically want to have when you're doing cold email. You want to have an email address that is at your domain. You want to make sure that you're not sending from a Gmail, from a Yahoo, because it doesn't look professional. It really kills your credibility. You want to have something as simple as this here. You want to have your name here, your title, the company, your office number, and then your location, then your email, and then your Skype if you want to have it there. And if you're actually featured in some sort of news publication. We were featured in Huffington Post, so we're using that as that credibility, that social proof, right? And so if you have that, you can use that, and it definitely adds to the credibility and authority when you're emailing with that on your email there. So, and we've gone through a bunch of different strategies with email and email personalization, but just always keeping in mind that it's never about you. It's never about, hey, my company does this. Hey, we're the best in the world. Hey, we have the best product that's ever lived, that's ever been invented. It does all these different things, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares about that, right? All they care about is what is in it for them. Here's a really good example here, just a plain simple example. So the wrong way to go about it. Hi, my name is Juan. I own a marketing agency. We do PPC, SEO, all this stuff. And what that means for you is blah, 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 blah. All this stuff, right? You do not want that. You want to be able to have, right out of the gate, something that is talking to them, right? Here's a right way. We have a unique method that can double your sales. That is talking to them. You have not mentioned anything about your company, all this stuff. So you're implying with that statement that you have a methodology to generate more leads and sales, right? That's the key thing here. Most of your communication should be as a presupposition or where you are implying, right? Where it's already kind of known. So when you're saying that you have a unique method that can double your sales, you are already implying, you're presupposing that you can generate more leads and sales, that you have a unique method, right? And that you have a marketing agency or you're a marketing consultant. You don't need to tell them that stuff because it has nothing to do with them. They don't care that you're a marketing agency, that you are a marketing consultant. They care what is in it for them, right? And another thing here I recommend is being artfully vague. You do not want to give your prospect any specifics to the point where it's going to turn them off, right? A lot of times, and we're going to go over different responses for emails on different objections that they may have, but just a good example here of being artfully vague, right? We have an automated lead generation system that sends qualified leads directly to your inbox. When somebody comes back and says, hey, what do you guys do? How does it work? Right? Nice and simple like that. You can explain the details of how it works on your discovery call or your presentation call, right? Because at the end of the day, what you're trying to do here is position yourself as a consultant, right? And where you are figuring out, finding out information just like a doctor, right? And you're then being able to take that information and prescribe them the right medication, the right type of service, right? But you never want to give them the details, or else there's no reason for them to learn more about it, or they can just make a decision without fully understanding. One of the things that I've told people is, and when they ask me for a price, okay, when they ask me for a price kind of right out of the gate, and it may be kind of an iffy deal where they may seem like a kind of pain in the neck kind of clients or customer. So I'll respond with something like this. So, hey, John, I really appreciate you asking for the price. Here's the thing, I'd be doing you a disservice if I gave you the price without you fully understanding the value of our service, the value that we actually provide. And so what you're saying there is 100% true. If you give somebody a price of $5,000, right, and you tell them that it's for marketing or for lead generation, they're going to tie that price to marketing, lead generation, and they're not even going to fully know the full extent and the value of that service, right? So that's why the pricing needs to be discussed when they fully have seen the value that your actual service provides, and where they can attach that price point to all of the value that you have in your product or service, right? Because when you talk about marketing or doing consulting, you want to have things laid out line by line. Hey, we're going to be doing this, we're going to be doing that, all these different things. So you make it sound and look like it's this huge deal, which oftentimes it is, right? But they can really see the value in that because it's all these things you're doing. You're not just doing marketing, you're not just doing lead gen, right? There's all these different steps: automation, Zapier integration, automation to your email, right? All these different things, right, that are kind of just implied. But in order for you to really attach that value to that price, you want to be able to list things out specifically. And that's what happens in your discovery call, and most often than not in your presentation call there. Now, I recommend not having any type of calendar links in there. I've tested this numerous times. When you send a calendar link, the very first email, people will get turned off because you're just kind of pushing, right? It's like asking somebody to, go to bed with you like the moment that they meet you, right? Like the very first 5-10 minutes. You have to get to know people. So what I typically do is I will reach out, and when they come back and they say, hey, I'm interested in having a call, I want to learn more. Okay, great. I will then send over a couple of dates or times that work for me, or I'll say, hey, let me know what times work best for you within these time frames. Or if it works better for you and you'd like to schedule a call that works best for you, here's my calendar link so you can schedule a call that may be the best for you as far as your availability, right? So making sure that you do not send calendar links to people right out of the gate, and looking at who you're talking to, right? I mean, if you're talking to the CEO of a company that, does 10, 15, 20 million, right? 50 million, you don't want to send them a calendar invite, because those kind of folks don't play with calendar invites. You want to be able to go back and forth and figure out, hey, when is a good time? So you got to be cognizant of who you're actually speaking with, right? So another thing here, no attachments. Do not send any attachments or images. It can reduce your delivery rates, and your prospect doesn't care about your company, any kind of white papers, brochures, right? Nobody cares about that. Again, we are all selfish as human beings, and all we care about is what is in it for us, okay? So that's going to be it here for this video, and we'll see you on the next one. In this video, we're going to go over the best questions to ask in your emails. So let's go right ahead and jump into this here. And the best questions to start with are with how, what, do you, where, have you. So just think about all of these here. How do you go about doing X? Or what is the process for signing on new customers? What is your process for taking on referrals? Do you have capacity for more business, right? More clients, more customers, more patients? Where are you in your business currently? Where are you looking to get to in the next, whatever, Q1, Q2, right? Where are you currently sourcing your leads from? Where are you currently sourcing XYZ supplies from, right? Whatever that may be. Have you ever thought about X? Have you ever thought about outsourcing or generating more opportunities through an automated lead gen system? Whatever that may be, right? The great thing about asking these type of questions here is that you can use it to qualify your prospects, right? If you're pitching, let's say, lead generation to a dentist, for Invisalign, you could ask them, hey, Mike, do you have any openings or more openings for Invisalign patients this month? Then you can reply with an angle to pitch them on how you can get them more Invisalign leads, right? But you're just kind of gauging to see if they have that capacity or openings, right, available. And then if you're trying to sell a new spice blend to, let's say, a Mexican restaurant, you could ask them, hey, Steve, where do you source the spices from currently in your dishes? Or if you're trying to sell some like website design or website developments, you can say, hey, John, very nice website. I'm curious who built it for you, or how long ago did you build your website, whatever that may be, right? But you're asking them a question about, whatever it is you're trying to find out, their product, their service, their method, right? And you want to stay away from questions that are too specific or too personal. You don't want to ask them, how much money do you make? How many employees do you have? How many clients do you have, right? You want to be, kind of open-ended here, and you want to make it sound like you're just having a conversation. This is the key thing here that I want you to come away with in this entire course, right? With the cold email strategy, is you want to be having a normal conversation with people, right? Back and forth questions, right? It's like a, text message, it's like a chat. You're just having a normal human conversation with people. All right. So these are the best questions to ask. That's going to be it here for this video, and we'll see you on the next one. In this video, we're going to go over what a good prospect versus a bad prospect looks like. So let's go right ahead and jump into this. I want to share with you now a bad prospect, what a bad prospect looks like. And I crossed off the company name, the actual individual, to protect their information, to protect their privacy. But this is an email here from what a bad prospect looks like, okay? So basically, in this situation, I send them an email, right? And I let them know, hey, I'm curious, do you have capacity for additional listings? This is for the real estate market, okay? And they responded back with something where they're trying to take complete control of the entire sales process. Maybe this person has been taken advantage of, previously. Maybe somebody came in as a marketing agency and didn't really know what they were doing, which is unfortunately what is happening now in today's day and age with a lot of companies, because the low barrier of entry to start a marketing agency, right? As long as you can, pick up the phone or send an email, you can quote unquote say you're an agency. And a lot of times people like these kind of, smaller businesses will get taken advantage of, and they'll get a bad taste in their mouth. And so they come across very direct and kind of rude. So let me walk through this email here. So they came back and said, yes, I'm a bottom line kind of gal. So please tell me all of the costs, the commitment, the number of leads. Are you giving these leads to somebody else? How are you getting these leads? Send me your references, right? All this stuff here, right? And here's the deal, right? This puts them in the position of the alpha. Like, hey, this is what I want to know. This is all this stuff. Give me references. When you still haven't even found out if they're even a good fit for you, right? It may be that you don't like their sales process. It may be that they have a lot of holes, and, they coming with this kind of attitude is just not somebody you'd want to work with, right? Because when you are running your business, right, you want to be in control. You want to be the alpha, right, in any kind of sales conversation, because the minute that you stop asking questions and being the listener, right, the minute that you stop actually becoming that consultant, that's when they come over and they take over the conversation and they start asking the questions. They start dictating the direction when you need to be in control. This person here, I didn't even respond back to them, right? Because they want to know 3 references. They want to know all this stuff, right? And this is another thing here where I could say $5, $10, $20, $10,000. But if they don't fully understand the value of my services here, right, then any price to them is going to be expensive, right? So it's important to differentiate and understand what is it that, makes a bad prospect versus a good prospect, right? And I'm going to show you some ways to respond to people that, come across where they're kind of borderline. They're not really being rude, but they are, curious to know a little bit more about you. And I'm going to show you how to properly respond to those people in another video. But in this one here, I'm just sharing with you what a bad prospect looks like and what a good prospect looks like. So here's a good prospect. Same email, same thing. Now this individual came back like this. Juan, I wrote you back a couple days ago. Did you not get my email? Yes, I do have capacity for additional listings, and I do work them properly with the sellers in mind and negotiating a good deal, win-win. So as you notice, this individual is almost pitching himself to me and telling me that, hey, I actually can do this. I do this to make sure that the deals are closed and it's a win-win. So the frame has shifted, right? They're selling me. And this is the kind of prospects, the clients you want to work with, the ones that are open-minded, are curious to learn more, are almost trying to position themselves and sell themselves to you, right? And so this one said, I have been a broker since 1993, took some years off to be on the development and building side of real estate, and now would like to focus on the brokerage again. So he talked about getting back to him via phone or email. So this is the kind of responses that you want to get and you want to work with, because this is your business. If you own a marketing agency, maybe a software company, whatever that may be, right? This is your business and you get to run it the way you want to. When I first started my business a while back, I was at the mercy of my prospects. I would have phone calls all day long. I would have people calling me at different times, asking me to do all this stuff, over what we had agreed upon. And it wasn't until I decided, these are the kind of clients that I want to work with. This is what I'm not going to put up with. This is just what is a complete no, right? It's just, I don't accept this, right? And once you start setting boundaries, that's going to be the difference maker for you and your business, because it doesn't matter that somebody's paying you $3, $4, $5 a month when the client is a total pain in the neck, right? Money, it isn't worth it that much, right? To go through all that pain, that headache, and have somebody paying you, a good amount, because you want to work with clients that you want to work with that are, actually understanding, that are respectful, right? And they understand that you have boundaries, right? So just wanted to walk you through what a good and bad prospect looks like. So that's going to be it here for this video, and we'll see you on the next one. In this video, we're going to go over the best email responses that we can use to respond to people when they have shown interest, when they're interested in learning more, when they have some kind of objection, whatever that may be. I'm going to show you how we go about responding to them in the most effective manner possible. So let's go right ahead and jump into this here. So let's say that they are interested in learning more. They want to get to that next step. They want to learn more about you. They want to hop on a call. I like to respond with something like this. Hey John, nice to virtually meet you. When is a good time for us to connect this week? Let me know what dates, times work best for you. Or sometimes I'll put in a couple times in there. A lot of times these folks will be either on the West Coast or East Coast. So you got to play with the times there. Sometimes it'll be Eastern time, Central time, whatever that may be, right? So you got to keep that in mind when you're actually sending out times that you have that are available. So when somebody comes back and says, hey, how does it work? I'm interested. Obviously when somebody comes back, and they may not say specifically, hey, I'm interested in learning more, but they may come back and say, how does it work? What's the pricing? All this stuff, right? I say, nice to virtually meet you. We've helped businesses like yours increase sales through advanced digital marketing strategies. Our typical client is an active and healthy business that wants to increase their bottom line. When is a good time for us to connect this week? So I want you to look at this here and really dissect this, because one of the biggest things here is that I'm not asking for permission. I'm presupposing everything. I'm presupposing that they want to grow their business, right? And that they want to increase their bottom line. I'm presupposing that they are an active and healthy business, because what business doesn't want to get, categorized and doesn't see themselves as an active and healthy business, right? That's a huge deal there. It's an ego play, right? Because every business out there wants to see themselves as an active and healthy business. That's why I always presuppose that that's what they are, that's how they characterize themselves, and then I ask them, when is a good time for us to connect this week, right? So that's the email responses there that I like to use for I'm interested in learning more and how does it work. And you obviously want to be able to change this around for your particular niche, your particular industry, right? Whatever it is that you're actually providing, you want to make it so that you can help them identify with a, whatever type of business that you know for a fact that they're going to identify with. Because again, the active and healthy business, every single business for the most part, right, is going to identify with that. Nobody's going to tell themselves or say, my business is not active and healthy. So find out what sort of statement there that you can use that is going to play into the ego of your particular customer. Now, here's a really good example of when somebody says, hey, send me over a proposal, brochure, pricing references, all this stuff, right? The best way to respond to this is to put the ball back in your court and position yourself as the alpha. So let's take a look at this email here that I sent to a business owner, and I mentioned to them, hey, do you have capacity for more security projects? And so this individual said, Juan, I'm interested in learning more about how your company can help us acquire more security projects. Can you send me more information on the process, costs, terms, some references, right, from clients explaining the benefit that they realize from working with your company? I visited your website and I'd like to learn more. So this person here is trying to take the alpha position. They're trying to say, hey, I'm interested in learning more, but send me this, send me all this other stuff, give me the price, all these different things, right? When we haven't even found out if there's an opportunity here for us to work together, right? That's the biggest thing here. Always look at yourself and think of yourself as a consultant, as a doctor, as a physician. You're looking to, ask questions, find out, have a discovery call, if it makes sense to move to the next step and then prescribe XYZ solution to you, right? So look at how I responded here. Hi, Richard. Thanks for the follow-up. I can send you all of that information. However, I don't know yet if we would be a good fit to work together. Our pricing is custom and specific to each individual business. If you're open-minded, when is a good time for a call this week or next where we can learn more about each other's businesses and find out if we'd be a good fit to work together? Now, this is a total mind shift here, right? They went from, hey, send me this, send me references, send me your price, all this stuff, right? To where I completely shifted the power control there, right? The power frame, where I said, no, listen, I can send you all of that, but first we have to get on a call so that I can find out more about your business. You can find out more about my business, and then we can then come to the realization if it makes sense for us to actually partner, move on to the next step, right? And so then you can see here he responded, Juan, you can call me tomorrow morning, Thursday at 8 a.m. I'll give you 30 minutes to discuss this matter. Will that work, right? And so he's still trying to take the power position. But again, this is where, I completely shifted the control of the call, the entire discovery meeting, the entire, email, everything, right? And once we go through the discovery script in one of the other videos, you'll see and notice how from the very beginning of the call, we position ourselves as the alpha, as the person in control, and we're directing the conversation so that it goes down to where we want it to go and not where they want it to go, okay? So that's going to be here for this video, and we'll see you on the next one. Next. In this video, we're going to walk through 13 cold email templates that you can use to start generating booked appointments. Now, obviously you want to look at these emails, these templates here as kind of baseline frameworks that you can use to craft your own emails based on your industry, your niche, right? Whatever offering that you're actually providing. So the first one here is the bandage formula. So this one starts with, hey, John, I noticed that your site currently isn't running a solution, whatever that may be, which typically increases conversions by whatever percent. Implementing a solution like this is actually something that we help companies with, like yours, all the time. If you have a few moments next week, I'd love to connect so we can talk about getting this taken care of. Best, right? Nice and simple there. You're typically stating that you notice that they don't have, let's say, a Facebook pixel. They don't have their SEO on site set up properly. They don't have keywords. They don't have the proper, meta tags. They don't have the proper, title for their website, for their heading. Any of those things that may be around your product or service, you want to let them know that they're missing it and what it can do to help them, actually get that particular item, product, whatever that may be, fixed or added onto their business or their website, right? So it's the problem, the solution, and then you help people just like them fix that solution. Let's have a quick chat. Okay, so the proven system here. Hey John, I specialize in helping successful security businesses like yours increase their bottom line through advanced digital marketing strategies. If your sales over the past few months haven't yet met your expectations, this might be the most important email that you come across. We have a proven system that can increase your revenue in as little as X days or X weeks, whatever that may be, but make sure that you have something that you can actually back up, right? That you have information, you have a case study, you have something that shows how you've been able to do that in the past, right? When do you have a few moments to discuss? Number 3, the unique way. Hey John, hoping to reach the person that looks after whatever area at the company. We have a unique way to make sure that you get the best, whatever benefit, whatever solution, and the fastest, easiest, most profitable time, right? Whatever that may be. We're the first full service XYZ company that gives you X to manage with X at each stage and through the X process, right? So this is something where you have a solution and you're stating what it does, all the different, unique mechanisms in there, unique points, your unique USP. This means that you get XYZ, whatever benefit that you're providing, right? When do you have 10 minutes for a chat in the next few days? So this is where you're stating a benefit that you provide, and you may not be reaching the right person. You may go above a level, right? Hit the VP, hit the director, hit the C-level exec, so that they can point you in the right direction. And oftentimes, when you can state a benefit like this and an outcome that you're generating, that's what a lot of these folks, the C-level folks and the higher management care about. They care about end result, right? So number 4 here, appropriate person. Hey John, I'm writing in hopes of finding the appropriate person who handles customer experience or whatever that may be, right, that you're looking to find. I also wrote to whoever colleagues that they may have, 1, 2, and 3 in that pursuit. If it makes sense to talk, let me know how your calendar looks. Our company helps whatever, right, you're providing the benefit, the outcome that you provide, and then you're stating all the different points in there, right, how you get to that end result. And then you're stating, hey, if you're the appropriate person to discuss this with, when do you have availability for a quick introduction call, right? If not, who do you recommend I speak with, I talk to, right? So number 5 here, inconsistencies. So this is the subject line, name, I found inconsistencies concerning your website. This is very general and very broad, but it definitely gets a lot of responses. You can say, hey John, I wanted to personally reach out to you and share with you a few inconsistencies I found on business name website that are likely causing you to lose sales opportunities. When do you have 10 minutes available to speak on the phone about these inconsistencies? Now this works really great for like SEO, for like maybe site security, where you let them know that maybe their WordPress or that their SEO is missing some important keywords, some important key optimization factors, right? Whatever that may be, you're letting them know that they're missing it. And oftentimes what I've been able to do is literally find anything, right? It could be that their homepage doesn't have a contact us form. Their homepage doesn't have the proper kind of, text or message, whatever that may be, right? It's just the fact that you're being very broad, you're being very vague, right? Artfully vague. So you're letting them know that you found something and that you want to tell them over the phone. Okay, number 6 here. You want to increase the bottom line. So here's the subject line. Name, I will increase business name, bottom line. Hey John, my name is, whatever your name is, and I specialize in helping niche market in whatever city or maybe whatever state or whatever industry, whatever that may be, right? Increase their bottom line by getting more customers, clients, whatever that may be, right? That end result, that end outcome that you provide. When do you have 10 minutes to visit over the phone? Number 7, capacity. Hey John, do you currently have capacity for additional products, customers, clients, patients, whatever that may be? Nice and short there, okay? Number 8, subject line, unique idea. Hi, first name, I have an idea I can explain in just 10 minutes that will, whatever result that you're providing at X company, right? XYZ company. I recently used this idea to help X client in our industry, in your industry, right? Achieve XYZ outcome. Now you have to have a case study here where you can show the quantifiable results, right? And then first name, when would be a convenient time to schedule 10-minute call so I can share with you this idea. Now, notice how on all of these emails here, I'm never ever asking for permission. I'm presupposing that they're interested. I'm saying when, what time, what date, when is a good time to connect, right? All of these different questions that presuppose they are interested. And then closing the loop. This is good when you haven't heard back from a project, maybe something that you set up where they were interested and it kind of fell off the board there, and now you are trying to pick it back up. It's been a while. They told you they were going to follow up with you in a week, 2 weeks, whatever that may be, and they just haven't followed up. So you want to make sure if it's a done deal, let's get it set up, let's get it rolled in. If it's not, then let me know, right? So it's, hi Thomas, I haven't heard back regarding our last conversation. It could be about moving forward, about starting the project XYZ. I'm going to assume you've gone in a different direction or your priorities have changed. Let me know if we can be of assistance in the future. Thanks. I'd say about 80 to 90% of the times that I send this email, I'll get a response. If that particular business is professional, if they're courteous, they'll at least reply back and say, hey, you know what? At this time, we've decided to go in a different direction. At least right? So number 10, the breakup. And this is similar to closing the loop, but it's framed a bit differently. So subject line, maybe this isn't for you. I'm sure you have thousands of things to do. My intent is not to be a pain. I'm going to assume, as I haven't heard from you, that you're not open to connecting at this time to discuss whatever key benefit for your company. This can be where you're sending your emails on the 4th or 5th email, and you've stated in all those different emails, hey, I can increase your bottom line, I can generate more leads, more sales, whatever that may be, right? If I'm mistaken and you're open to connect for a brief conversation sometime in the near future, send me a quick email or give me a call. I like to just have it, send me a quick email, but you can put your phone number in there if you want to answer and take calls. Either way, I wish you the best, right? So it's a very friendly way to say, hey, listen, maybe this isn't for you. Maybe you're not interested in getting to that next level, increasing your bottom line. Hey, no problem, no big deal. But if you are, here's what you can do to contact me so you can learn more, right? Number 11 here, referral email. So name, I was given your name. That's the subject line. And then it's, I was given your name as the best person to speak with at XYZ company regarding who is responsible for, recruiting, HR, whatever, by contact who gave the referral. Now, this is typically where you want to utilize and leverage, right, the higher ups. If you're going after the VPs, email the C-level folks, right? If you're emailing the managers, email the directors, right? And so that's how you can get that leverage to use in these kind of emails, because you can forward the email, right, with the response from the actual VP, from the C-level folk, right? And that individual is typically going to respond, because if they're getting an email from their boss, they're most likely going to respond, right? And then you're asking for a quick call to explore if there may be a fit between your two organizations. Number 12 here, short and sweet. Name, I was given your name. Hi Jill or hey Jill, my name is John Smith. I help manufacturing companies like yours reduce costs through outsourcing. And that's going to be different, obviously, for you, your business, your niche. I help XYZ companies accomplish XYZ goal through your unique mechanism by utilizing XYZ method, right? Methodology, whatever that may be. Let me know if you would like to set up a phone strategy session in the next week, or how you can lower your costs at your new location, whatever it is that you are mentioning that you're going to provide, right? And then number 13, the results based, where it's just, hey, name, question. Hey, John, I came across your company while at X. My name is Juan at XYZ Business. And just like how I contacted you, I can create leads on demand with personalized emails just like this. We've helped businesses just like yours generate between 10 to 20 leads per week, and I'd love to show you how we can do it. I'd love to schedule a quick call. Now, when you're making these kind of claims, you want to have proof. You want to have case studies, something that can show you that you are credible, that you're backing up your claims. Because anybody and everybody can make all sorts of claims, but now in today's day and age, you want to get verifiable results, right? So that's going to be it here for this video, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks. In this video, I'm going to give you an overview of how to set up an email campaign with Mailshake. Now, Mailshake is the software that I recommend you use. It's very easy to use, has a lot of customization, and that you can use a lot of personalization. And I'm going to show you how to set up a campaign here. So the first thing you want to do is you want to connect your mail account here. And then you want to go to plus right there, go to G Suite, okay? And then it's going to come up with your email address there. And you want to go to allow. Okay, great. So we have connected the email address. And then we want to go to next. And then this is the signature here. So we want to put in that signature like that. Okay, great. Finish. No thanks. Okay, great. So this is how it's going to look here. Then we want to go to campaign here, and we're going to go create a new campaign. So this is going to be where we have a list here that we've already created. We've already cleaned, right? Important step before you load up an email list here is that you want to make sure that it's been cleaned. It's been verified, right? You've ran it through like NeverBounce or one of the other ones that I shared with you as far as the email cleaning service, okay? So we're going to use this one here, this example list of car dealers, okay? You can see here that we have just two sections here, okay? We have the name and the email, and that's really all you're going to need, unless you want to personalize it also by the website as well, right? You can add that section over here. But for this one here, I just have the first name and then the email. So let's go ahead and make this into a CSV. Boom. Okay, great. And then we're going to call this car dealers. Put a title for that. Let's go to next here. Okay, so let's go ahead and drag this list onto there. And then we have the email. We want to put in the email right there. Boom, name right there. Great. Now it's telling us that Mailshake has read this information with the proper subjects here, right? Email and then name. Let's go to next here. Exit out of that. And so now it's going to be adding the contacts, right? We want to make sure that the Mailshake can capture the name and the email. And I'm going to show you how to create different tags so that it automatically populates the name there after we're actually utilizing every specific email. Okay, so now it's showing us that some of these were not imported, no problem. Okay, great. They exist in another campaign. Let's go ahead and remove them. And these here, let's go ahead and just remove those as well. Continue. So we are good. Now, the subject line here, we can put name. Let me even get a, let's go name. Let's insert here, name. So what we'll do is we'll take this here, put name, comma, question. So that's going to be our subject line there. And then we're going to go, hey, name, are you looking, this is just a simple email here. I'm just creating, from the cuff here, not anything that I've planned out. Just want to show you how to create a campaign in Mailshake here. Are you, do you have capacity for customers or for customers that are looking to buy a new car in the XYZ area? Okay, if it's somewhere local, if you're just doing this nationwide, then you're not going to put in that area, but you can also just put in here in your area. Okay, let me know as we have customers that are looking to buy a new car within the next couple weeks, right? Nice and simple there. If you have any other things in here that you want to customize, let's say that you had their website as well. Maybe you had just a typical piece of information that is going to be used industry wide, right? That's where you would create this here. And so typically with the follow-ups, I like to do them 3 to 4 days apart, and I like to keep them kind of similar here in your area. Okay, add a follow-up. We can put the capacity, or capacity is fine there. You can put 3 days, right? And it saves the same subject line there. Let's copy right here. In all of my follow-ups, okay, I typically keep them the same, and I only change a couple sentences, right? Because it's the same thing. I'm reiterating what I mentioned, what my first offer was, because you want to be like, hey, I emailed you XYZ days ago, 4 or 5 days ago, I mentioned XYZ. Hey, are you interested? Do you have capacity? Whatever that may be. So that's really what all you need to do when you're doing follow-ups, right? Is just reiterate the fact that you emailed them a few days ago, whatever, how many days ago, and that you are just following up. I know that, you may be busy. Just want to make sure that you saw my email, right? I typically like to do anywhere between 3 to 5 follow-ups, right? And then perhaps on like the 4th or the 5th email, I may change it around a little bit, right? But then that's really it here. That's that simple for you to create a personalized email here. With these things here, they populate automatically with the name. We'll show you how that looks here. Must have a body. Okay, so this one here, we're going to delete that. So we just have one follow-up here for this example. Let's go to next here. And the great thing about Mailshake here is that we can actually time this so that it only goes out during certain times of the day, certain dates, right? And then we have limits, right? So all these different things here that we can make sure that is within our customization guidelines, right? We want to be able to send emails at the prime times when people are actually responding, looking at their emails, and only send X number of emails, right? And then only on certain days. So let's go next here, and we can schedule this here. And then let's go to, let's say we wanted to schedule it on Monday at 6 a.m. Boom, let's go. And let's go to next, right? And so there we go. We are done here, and it's syncing, and I believe it's going to show us how the email is going to look. All right, so now the campaign is ready to get started. I literally just have to click on the start the campaign here button, but I'm not going to because I just wanted to show you how to create a campaign in here. And then we can see the recipients here. We see the email, the messages, and let's even go to preview here. I want to show you how this is going to look, right? So every single one here, as far as the name, is automatically added, right? So you have Beth, and then they have the email there. And then if you want to look at different names, right? Beverly, Bill, the name gets automatically populated here and here. And if you have other types of, references that you want to put in there, maybe you have their website, right? You can add that as well if you have that information. So That's going to be it here for this video, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to create a calendar invite so you can send it to your prospect. So whenever they have responded back and you guys have agreed on a time, on a date, you want to make sure that you are cognizant and aware that they may be on the East Coast, you may be on the West Coast, vice versa. So keeping track of the times, right? Making sure you're not sending the wrong time. So let me just kind of walk you through how I go about creating calendar invites. So let's say on Monday here, the 5th at 10 a.m., I'll go to more options. I like to have this screen here. And let's say it is with Mike. So put Juan and, or I'll put either Mike or Juan, Mike and Juan meeting. And then I'll put like the company, Sesame Digital Marketing, okay? And then I typically like to do the discovery calls for about 30 minutes, no repeating. And this is the most important thing here, okay? So you wanna have 3 notifications here. You wanna have one here 10 minutes before the meeting, and then 1 hour before the meeting, and then 1 day, okay? And typically you wanna have these meetings here booked out 24 to 48 hours at least in advance, okay? Because it's going to give you a little bit of time to research the company a little bit further, right? So that when you're coming into the discovery call, yeah, you're finding out more about the pains, the challenges, right? You have a good framework to work off of because you've already done a little bit of research on the prospect, right? And so in here in the description, it depends on the prospect, but sometimes I won't even put anything. Sometimes I may put, discovery call or quick meeting to learn more about XYZ, right? And then nice and simple, I'll just copy, place the email address here, and then I will save it, and then it'll say invite external guest, yes, and then you'll go ahead and do that. So it's that simple. You want to make sure you have at least 3 notifications here. That's the biggest thing here, okay? And oftentimes it'll ask you to add a conference. No conferencing, you don't want that. That's unless you're doing like a conference call. But I would typically just have them provide me with their phone number, or typically when they respond, they have their number there on their signature, and I'll just quickly verify, hey, is this going to be the best number to reach you, right? Whatever that may be. But the biggest thing here that I want you to come away with is that you want to have at least 3 notifications. You want them to continually be reminded that you guys have a call coming up. This is really how simple it is to create a calendar invite. Again, you want to make sure that time zone is correct for your time zone and then their time zone as well. So that's really going to be it here. You go to save, then it'll say, hey, invite external guest. Great. And then you'll have a chance to be able to accept it, and so will they. So that's going to be it here for this video, and we'll see you on the next one. All right, so let's go ahead and go over Calendly here. This is a call booking software that is very important for your agency. If you're going to be getting folks on a phone call and driving them through your sales funnel and your whole sales process there, it's very important that you have a call scheduling software so that it's able to convey that professionalism, that you're a serious business, right? You take your business serious, and that you want to avoid that back and forth of, hey, when is a good time for you? When is a good time for me? Hey, are you available at this time? It's just like, hey, to make things easier for the both of us, you can go ahead and schedule a call on my calendar booking here, and we can get together when, at your earliest convenience, right? And another thing that you can do with this is allows you to add some questions in there to kind of pre-qualify the prospect. So let me just go over here and show you some of the options. This is free. The only thing is that it's going to have limited amount of questions that you're going to be able to have in there, but still the free option is still a good option for you. So let's go to the different features here they have in the different packages. So you can see most likely to be billed annually. So, okay. All right. So the basic here, right? You get to integrate with your calendar. This is making sure that you have like your own G Suite, that integrates with your email, right? Schedule unlimited events, okay? And so you're only allowed to have one type of event here. So, and we'll go over this when I walk through the actual calendar there. So, okay, and so you can have your personalized calendar link. So, just like this here, whenever you have a calendar set up and you're ready to go and you maybe send it within an email or through any type of prospecting through Facebook, LinkedIn, or whatever it may be, you're going to have your own actual link here that you can send to the prospects. And then they'll be able to schedule a 15, 20, whatever, how many minutes you want the call to be. I typically like to do about 25 to 30 minutes. And oftentimes it'll go over, or sometimes it'll be less if the prospect is in a good fit. Okay, so here you can remove the Calendly branding if you have the paid. This free version here, I mean, it's going to be the best thing for you if you're just starting out. So let me just log in here, and I'm going to show you how this all looks. Okay, so let's get this logged in here. All right, so you have the ability to change these up. So let's go to the 30-minute one here, right? You have the different meetings that you can set up here. So let's go to edit, okay? And when you go to the invitee questions, this is where you can add questions. So in here, you can put in and make it required. You can put in, let's say, what is your monthly advertising budget? And then you can have this be check boxes. So you can have 1,000 to 499, and then something like this. Okay, go to apply. Okay, we'll go here and we'll add in the 999 plus. Okay, so let's go to save. And so we can look at this very, very easily here. Let's go to view live link. Okay. Huh. Okay, I see what it was. So we need to actually have this activated. So let's see how this looks. Okay, great. So now people can come in here and they can schedule a time. Okay. Let's say here. Okay. And then here you see the monthly advertising budget, right? So basically what this does is it allows you to really get an idea as far as what the prospect has as far as their advertising budget, ask any other questions as far as, what are the problems you have right now with your business? Are you currently doing any type of online marketing? So it's really allowing you to get a good understanding of that business and where they're at as far as your current situation. Okay, so let me go over here some of these other areas. So you get the questions here. You can add those in there. Okay, here's the notifications, right? You can actually even personalize an email here because oftentimes the email, it just says, hey, your booking's confirmed. You can actually personalize this and put some other stuff in here like, hey, but look, you got to upgrade to do this. So we've never done this before as far as the personalization. So there's just some different perks from being able to actually have the free account versus the actual paid account. It's $10 a month, very inexpensive, but definitely not a necessity there. Okay, so let's go ahead and hide this up here. But one quick thing there, if you're just starting out, right, use this type of setup. But the way that we like to run our business is that we like to have things where right after they book a call, we send them out an email that is personalized, says, hey, thanks, really appreciate you taking the time, to really book a call with us and to discuss, your business. This is how, the call is going to go. This is what to expect. So we have those two emails in between that go out on the day of the booking and then the day of the actual call. right? So whenever they book, they get an email. Whenever the actual call is, they get another email. So I mean, it's really important to do that. But again, if you're just starting out, maybe your budget isn't going to allow you to, um, go with this free setup here, and maybe send those personalized emails uh, manually. Okay, so let's go to the confirmation page here. Okay, this is all for the premium. Let me go, and I want to show you here some of the advanced areas. So let's go cancel here. Okay, and I believe it's up here. Okay, so 30 minutes. This is the link. Okay, here we go. So this means that people can book things out 60 days, you know, out. And I don't like that. What you want to do is you don't want to book people out too far out, because then people can, forget. And it's just, I don't like to put this out more than like 11 days. You can put 10 to 15, but I like to do 11. Okay. And so that means that people cannot book out past 11 days. Okay. And I don't like to also have me be available all the time. So I'll come in here and I will put in like, let's see here. And you can add different intervals. So you can put like 9 to 5 here. Now let's go to 0 to 8 to, let's say this is 11. Okay. 11 a.m. And then maybe you have 12:30 to 3 p.m. Right? And so you have different intervals there so that you can actually have different windows, right? That you're not able to have appointments. It actually allows you to look like you're a little bit busy, right? And you're not just overly available. So it adds a little bit of a scarcity there, urgency to, hey, you know what? I don't have very many slots open, but I am busy, right? Okay. Let's go to the advanced here. So this is where you want to change the increment. So I would say that you have increments of 60 minutes. Okay. Just give you a little bit of time, prepare for the calls. Even if they're only 25, 30 minutes long, you're not going to have calls that are like right after each other, as far as like 5 minutes, where maybe you need to take 15 minutes or so and prepare, right? Obviously, you want to look at the company's information, the company's business, have a little bit of understanding of who they are, what they do, and how you guys can potentially help them. Okay. Okay. Use this setting to prevent last minute. Okay. So basically, I would put 24 hours. This means that nobody can book a call um, right away. It has to be at least a 24-hour window. Okay. So then you go to save. Okay. And so that's really it. And then let's go back over here. So now this is the only one here that's active. And with the free one, you can only have one of these active at a time. So basically, whenever somebody wants to book a call, you send them to this link right here. Okay. Remove this. This is the link. Okay. And so you can put this in your email. You can put this in your all your marketing material where you're sending people to schedule a call. This is where they need to go. And as soon as they book a call here, they're going to get an email confirmation, right? That says, hey, your call is booked, and it automatically adds to the calendar. So let me know if you have any questions on this, but this is how you're going to set up the Calendly booking software. This is an email hack here that has been working extremely well for me. I do a lot of cold email for outreach, and this particular hack here, this tool, is really going to save you a lot of time, and it's going to essentially do a lot of the automation and follow up for you. So we use a tool called the Mailshake to reach out to different businesses. Now, after they respond to our automation email through Mailshake, if they respond, they then get taken off of our email list as far as the automation sequence. So let's say that they respond back and they say, yes, I'm interested. We're then going to follow up and send them another email that says, okay, this is what we do. This is how we can help you. Do you have time to schedule a call? Now, at that point, some people will respond back and say, hey, I'm available these times, or some people will just, not respond back. So I'm going to show you how we can follow up with these people through an automation tool here that can essentially do a lot of the outreach for you after they've responded yes. So this is a tool called Follow Up CC. Now, this is an extremely powerful tool. What this does is, as I mentioned, right, once somebody responds back to us and they say, I'm interested, this tool here will automatically follow up with them after you essentially send them an email. And then if they don't respond after 2 days, 3 days, then you have email automation sequences that go out. Now, another great feature about this tool is that it allows you to track when people open up your email. So we can go down here, we can see that we can set this up so that we have a follow-up message that goes out automatically. We can send out templates. And so let me show you exactly how this works. So I'm over here in my particular auto follow-ups here in the follow-up CC. And so what I do is I send them that response, that initial response of, okay, great, you're interested. This is how it works. This is how we can generate leads for you. Hey, when do you have time for a quick chat, or time for us to get on a call to learn more about each other's business? Okay, so then I set up a automated email sequence here through Follow-Up CC so that if they don't respond after 3 days, so wait 3 days, and if no replies, send this email. Okay, so this is after the fact. Remember, the first initial tool is Mailshake to do automation and large amounts of emails every single day. But once they respond and they become a lead and they show interest, we have to use this other tool here to essentially follow up with them and stay top of mind. So we send them the follow-up email saying, hey, this is how it works. When do you have time for a call? If they don't respond to that email, it's going to wait 3 days and it's going to send this email here. You're probably extremely busy, I can understand. However, if you're still interested in more security projects, when is a good time for a call this week or next? And then after 3 days, if they don't respond, we're going to send them another email. Were you able to receive my previous email? I want to make sure it went through. Then after 4 days, if they don't respond to any of those emails, then I have a closing kind of the loop here one where it's like, I haven't heard back from you regarding taking on more security projects. I'm going to assume you've gone in a different direction or your priorities have changed. If you're still interested in more security projects, when is a good time for a call this week or next? If not, let me know if I can be of assistance in the future. Thanks. So this is a fantastic tool here, and really all you got to do is connect this to your Gmail, okay, to your Gmail account, and then you have the ability to come in here and create templates, and you can send these messages that are following up on your leads, because people see our emails and they may get distracted and they may have had the intention to respond back, but for whatever reason they just, it slipped their mind. So this is how we stay at top of mind. Now let me show you how this looks in Gmail. So you literally are going to go to compose a message, or anytime you're responding to anybody, right, that has shown interest, that wants to know more, you have different templates down here that you can set up. You can set up a template right here and auto-populate it, and then you can actually schedule a follow-up. So you can set up actual templates to follow up automatically after 3 days, 4 days, 2 days, whatever that may be. And then you can also schedule follow-ups at certain times, certain dates. So it's really a fantastic tool, because once somebody opens up your email, you actually get a notification. So you can even respond back to people and say, hey, I noticed you opened up my email. Just wanted to follow up with you to make sure that this doesn't fall through the cracks. And so you'll have a set of reminders and updates over here on the right-hand side. I'm not going to show you that there because I got some client information there, but it's a fantastic tool here. This is a great hack. I mean, it's helped me out tremendously because we have the automation tool through Mailshake. That's step one. And then this is step two, so that those leads that are coming in that are interested, we make sure that we follow up with them with additional 3 messages that keep us top of mind and that let them know, hey, we're still here. We want to make sure that this doesn't fall through the cracks. So this tool here, highly recommend. I think it's about $30 a month, but it is a game changer for automatically following up with leads, staying top of mind, and being able to get people to, respond back to their initial messages. So that's it for this video here, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.